the banks of the Missouri River, we welcome you to CPKC Stadium to a November night with history on the line. On one side, it's number 6 Kansas, who has pulled 2 upsets after its first round victory to keep its NCAA tournament hopes alive. On the other side, it's number 1 TCU, the regular season champs who have yet to lose in conference play this season. It's dreams against dominance, the 28th Big 12 Soccer Championship game on Blaze Radio. Good evening, everyone. Alongside Luke Lendler, I'm Mahirson Hassan. Thanks for tuning in live from Kansas City, Missouri, the final of the Big 12 Soccer Championships. Luke, it's been a great tournament, 11 games, starting off back on October 30th. Feels like we've been in Kansas City for such a long time, but here we are at the finale, and we got a great matchup.
Absolutely. It's kind of, this tournament seems to have all been building to this one moment. We've seen upsets. We've seen teams with incredible vibes, with this feeling of teams of destiny. Baylor pulled off an upset win in the first half, but this Kansas Jayhawks team, they are truly a Cinderella story. Multiple upset wins, but doing so in comeback fashion, but also in dominant fashion. They haven't conceded a goal in many, many games. It's been weeks and weeks and weeks since they've last conceded a goal. You know, they've won their last 7 games, third longest streak. This is really a team that can challenge this TCU team exceptionally well. But really, it's hard to talk about Big 12 soccer at all without talking about this TCU Horned Frogs team. Just a dominant unit. Have not lost a game yet in conference play. They're riling themselves up right now. But this is a squad under Coach Eric Bell that has just kind of squashed everything in its path. They really haven't had a very, very close game. A slight slip-up in the first round against Colorado. But they came back. They won that game, and they were in control the entire time. And that's the name of the game for TCU tonight. Control. Can they stick to their guns? Can they do what they do well? And can they command this game from start to finish? Kansas is a team that thrives on the little chances, but it's easy for them to be suffocated out of any life if TCU can take the lead early and then stay on the ball.
Kansas is on the pitch right now. Red tops, red shorts with the white lining and red socks. They're going to line up in a 3-5-2 today, the same 11 they put out for their victory against West Virginia in the quarterfinals and their victory over Texas Tech in the semifinals. In goal, we have Sophie Daw in the back line. Going from left to right, we're expected to see Olivia Page, Mackenzie Bovey, and Asa Conte. The midfield, which will be a 5-set. Caroline Castens on the left, your left center midfielder, Michaela Merlo. Jillian Grigorski, your center midfielder with a chance to really attack forward. Kate Langfelder, your right center midfielder, and Lauren Wood on the right-hand side. 2 forwards up top, Lexi Watts, I should say, on the left, Sage Wimes on the right. TCU expected to go to a 4-3-3 today. They're putting out the same lineup from their victory against BYU on Wednesday, a 2-1 victory here at CPKC Stadium. As we're underway here in Kansas City, Megan Plashko in goal, Evie Baker, Maddie Mooney, Jenny Bethune, and Cameron Patton will be your back line. Morgan Brown, Ollie Pena, and Lauren Memley. In the midfield, Bella Diorio, Seven Castaigne, and AJ Hennessy up top. Here's Conte rolling down the right-hand side and gives it off towards TCU for a throw-in. Jayhawks moving from left to right. Horned Frogs moving from right to left in this first half. Ball brought down, right half space. Merlot pips it up, drop back towards Mooney, trying to control it. Pressure comes. It's Watts down the right-hand side, wins it back. Watts into the 18. Watts plays it low, can't find Grigorski as it's picked up by Memley. Patton tries to keep it in play on the end line, but she can't. A corner kick coming up on the far side of the pitch.
And Kansas feeling the juice from this home crowd. They're piling on the pressure early, but this is their biggest punch. You have to think it's their biggest punch in terms of possession. TCU needs to absorb it, maintain it, and then push back with more than Kansas is giving them right now.
Ball lifted into the box, dribbling towards the heart of it. Past Grigorski, brought down by Page. Page off the turn, can't fire off a shot. Wimes right near the penalty area. She goes to ground, no foul called as it's redirected towards Page, and her shot just skips towards Megan Plashko in goal. She scoops it up. 43-37 remaining in this first half. Kansas with the best chance of the day, still 0-0 here in Kansas City.
High pressure here from the Jayhawks. They're going to want to squeeze TCU out of their comfort zone early and often. This is a team that knows they won't have much possession in this game, but they got to make with it what they can do.
Towards the center, Morgan Brown. Out towards the left half space. Work for Evie Baker, the left back. Played down the line. Bella Diorio giving chase to it. And the Big 12 forward of the year unable to get to the ball in TCU's attacking third. A lot of open play to start this one, Luke.
And that TCU 1-2 punch, that's going to be key. They can win this game in open play, especially if there's a lot of it. They can really command and take control of that. But that 1-2 punch on the left wing for TCU. Bella Diorio, the forward of the year for the Horned Frogs. You know, you think she gives you 35 good minutes on the pitch. She jogs off. You're Kansas, you're breathing. You're like, okay, cool. The forward of the year just jogged to the field. No. Right behind her, Caroline Kelly, 12 goals and 2 assists to her name. All-Conference first team, rarely starts, often used as a super sub behind Diorio, and it's just kind of a nightmare attack down that left wing for TCU. Kansas is going to have to take care of it early and kind of get both of those players out of their comfort zone, and they want to make them play Jayhawk soccer, not Horned Frog soccer.
Baker, defensive third, left wing, still trying to get it out of that base, playing it back towards the midfield. Conte originally gets it. Diorio picks her off. She's got a runner towards the left. That's 7, Castaigne. Here's Castaigne, her first touch. It's rough. It's behind her as Conte scoops it up only as far as Oli Pena. Play towards the middle. Some space to work for Lauren Memely before it's intervened by the Kansas midfield. Towards the forward it goes. Lexi Watts can't get control of it. Seen out towards the right. Kept in by AJ Hennessy and played back towards the back line. 41-43 remaining in this first half. TCU against Kansas, the first seed against the 6th seed in the 28th Big 12 Soccer Championship presented by Sprouts Farmers Market. Pipped up down the left, Diorio trying to get a chase on Conte. That's a good matchup to start off this one. Diorio wins the throw-in, a 0-0 game here at CPKC Stadium. Baker, she'll be the one taking the throw-in now. Coaxing someone to go forward. It was Castaigne, another interception by Conte, and TCU continues to work down that left wing back in the attacking third as Baker tries to play it off towards Hennessy. On the left wing, the right forward, AJ Hennessy, down the end line in a double team. She goes down. Ref's whistle blows. Last touched by Kansas and Conte. Corner kick coming up for the Horned Frogs.
Hennessy getting involved early and often. That's a good sign for Bell and TCU. She could be really, really dangerous all over the pitch, not just on that right side.
Oli Pena controls the left half space, edge of the box. Memely off towards Brown, and her left-footed shot takes a deflection on the way out. Well wide right, but now a corner kick coming for TCU on the opposite side of the pitch. It will be Diorio making the long trot over. Relatively close to the Kansas supporter section. A great crowd on tap here at CPKC Stadium as Diorio plays it short towards Pena. Pena into the 18. Now to Diorio, closer towards the end line. She nutmegs Castens, but Olivia Page clears it away towards danger and into those very seats I was talking about. Almost, not every seat, but a good chunk of the seats in the bottom section here at CPKC Stadium. So roughly 2,000 to 3,000 seats filled up for this matchup today. Again, Kansas only 45 minutes away from this stadium. Kansas City is where it's at tonight. TCU a little bit further, but nonetheless about an 8-hour drive. So within a day's drive or a quick flight from Dallas here towards Kansas City. 39-38 remaining in the first half. TCU 0, Kansas 0. Controlled by Memely, right half space, clipped over towards the left. Evie Baker, edge of the attacking third, glides it out towards Diorio. Diorio, one-on-one against Lauren Wood, gets past Langfelder, working her way towards the left half space, and she'll play it back towards Brown, into the center circle. Imathune to our other center back, Maddie Mooney. Brown tried to take it off the half turn, just works towards the back line once again, and back towards goal, and Megan Plashko, the senior goalkeeper from Eagan, Minnesota. Down the line again, TCU trying to find direct ways to attack this Kansas back line in midfield. They'll opt out towards the left. Mooney plays it off towards Brown. Brown trying to work her way around and towards Baker, intercepted by Merlot. Ref's whistle will blow, a free kick for TCU. Your officials today, Dimitar Chavdarov, the referee, Tiffany Turpin, his assistant, the other assistant, Albert Escobar, and Vladimir Stefanovic, the alternate official on the near touchline.
Kansas defending well so far, staying compact, kind of giving up those outside channels, but being cool heads in the middle of the field. Not getting too squirrely or getting too nervous or scared, just clearing the ball out when it comes to them and doing a pretty good job against this strong TCU attack so far tonight.
TCU bringing the ball down. White tops, white shorts, white socks for them with the purple sleeves and pink lining. Speaking of pink lining, the pink headbanded Ollie Pena plays it back towards Maddie Mooney, and she plays it back towards her goalkeeper, Megan Plashko. Plashko leaves it off towards Imethune. Kansas bringing their forwards almost right in the face of Imethune Lexi Watts. But nonetheless, the Horned Frogs able to break the pressure. Back in towards the midfield, Pena scissors it over. Space to work for Baker on the left-hand side. Edge of the attacking third. Played out towards the wing for Diorio, and that's another clear by Conte. Throw in again for the Horned Frogs. 37-36 remaining in this first half. Still 0-0.
Strong clearance there by Conte. Kansas backline continuing to not play around, just getting the ball out of danger, not trying to be too cute. It's working well for them so far tonight. They've got somebody marking Diorio this entire time. For most of the evening, it's been Lauren Wood, but we've seen Conte slide over there. Only about 8 minutes gone left, 37-15 left in this one, so Kansas' legs might get tired. They might switch up the defensive strategy. But as of right now, they're doing a good job at holding down TCU's strengths on offense, which revolve around Diorio and Pena.
Watts controls, back to goal, trying to push down the right wing. Gets past Imethune for now, and Baker will intervene. A throw-in coming for Kansas on the right-hand side. Lauren Wood to take, drops it down, trying to find some options. It's Sage Wimes bustling her way in towards the 18. Wimes trying to play it off towards Watts. That's cleared away as TCU regains again. Brown tries to play it forward, picked off by Mackenzie Bovey of Kansas. Brown again with a reset. She'll play it back towards Mooney, and another reset towards Plashko. TCU just trying to build out of the back, but Kansas bringing the pressure.
The Jayhawks doing a good job making TCU uncomfortable, not letting them play their style of football so far. We'll see how this can evolve as the night gets longer.
Possible break here for TCU. A 2-on-2. Bella Diorio working down the left half space. In towards the 18 inside of it. Now Bella Diorio, low gliding shot. But Sophie Daw crouches down, a two-handed grab. And that will be that.
First time Daw has been called into action tonight. Smooth, cool as you like, cool as a cucumber. That's what you want if you're Nate Lee, the Kansas head coach. You just want your goalkeeper and your captain to kind of be that calming influence, and Daw did a pretty good job there. She could have made a mare out of that one, but she did a good job. Just sliding to her left, dropping her knee, closing up the space between her legs so the ball can't squirt through there. She did a good job just scooping it up, distributing it to a teammate, and here Kansas has holding possession against this good TCU team.
35 minutes, 35 seconds remaining in this first half. A countdown clock here at CPKC Stadium. Depends on where you go in the Big 12. Some people using count up, some people using countdown. We see a countdown clock here in Kansas City. It is 0-0 between TCU and Kansas in the Sprouts Farmers Market Big 12 Soccer Championship. 11 games. This is the 11th. This is the final. Winner of this gets an NCAA tournament bid. They're on to the big dance. As the whistle will blow, a free kick given towards Kansas. Michaela Merlo shaken up on the play, doing a few stretches, but she's able to walk it off as the Jayhawks try to move forward. And we talked about this at the top of the show. We were talking about this with fellow broadcasters, Luke, that Kansas, because they've pulled a couple of upsets against West Virginia, the 3rd seed, and Texas Tech, the 2 seed, even if they lose tonight, there is a possibility they could still make the tournament. But at the same time, you know, we see conference tournaments. That's not just the case in soccer, but across just sports in general, when you have someone who has a Cinderella run that can get to this point and really clinch whatever they're looking for, a championship, a bid, whatever it looks for, you want to support them, and now it's just about finishing the job.
At this point, I think it's possible that you mentioned, Kansas can get that bid if they lose tonight. But why leave it up to chance if you're Nate Lee? Go tell your troops, tell your squad, listen, we came here to win. This is basically a home game for us. The crowd's kind of stacked with a lot of blue and red right now in support of Kansas. And why leave it up to chance? Why let the potential selection committee kind of decide, and maybe we won't give a bid to the Jayhawks this year. Win it. Get that automatic bid, and they seem determined to do so far tonight.
To the back line, Olivia Page. Left half space. Played out Castens. Kansas in their defensive half as Grigorski checks back and plays it towards Bovey. Bovey towards Conte. 33 minutes, 30 seconds remaining in the first half. Kansas controlling the ball, maybe trying to break the deadlock. They've done that in their past 2 games, make that their past 3 games here at the Big 12 soccer tournament. TCU on the other side, they've actually conceded first as we see Bella Diorio go down near side. Free kick right around the midfield marker.
Good job there by Conte, just being physical. You know, if a foul is a foul, but you can't let Diorio command all that left wing, and as she's done throughout this season. You got to let her know, things will be different tonight. A good job there being physical by Conte.
Off the head of Baker as Plashko tried to play it to her out wide. A throw-in now for Kansas. Wood, ball in her right hand, two-handed throw, sharply down towards Merlot. Pena trying to pick it off. Pena space to work in the middle part of the pitch. Played out towards Castaigne now. Left half space. Castaigne 25 yards away from goal. Slides it out towards Hennessy. A little bit overcooked, but Hennessy able to save it on the far touchline. Hennessy working her way inside. Brought down. A free kick coming up for TCU. Caroline Castens with the foul, and she will land herself in the book with a yellow card.
Hennessy again making her presence felt, this time on the right side, but she's been good all over the pitch tonight. She's kind of dropping down in a more of a 6 role, kind of to distribute with the back line, and then she's kind of, accelerating her way up, playing that right wing, and did a good job keeping the ball in there, working her way around Castaigne's. And here comes TCU, a very threatening set piece for them. A team that scores a lot of their goals from open play, not a lot from set pieces. But they are just filled with talent, and that can really score from any position.
Diorio and Memoli over the ball on the right-hand side. Lexi Watts, the one-person wall for Kansas. Most of the players marked on the back post, near side for us, here at CPKC Stadium, the north side of the field, closest to the Missouri River. Whistle blows. Diorio, right-footed ball, clipped in, cleared away by Langfelder. Only as far as Baker. She glides it in. That's knocked away by the Jayhawks. And a further reset coming for the Horned Frogs. A good defensive stand by Kansas. Pressure coming. That's Wimes working against Baker. And now the ball will go from 30 yards away from goal. That is Kansas's goal, all the way back to TCU's defensive third. Brought back center part of the pitch. Hennessy back to goal. Just trying to find something to work forward, TCU.
Kansas not tiring out so far, doing a good job keeping TCU kind of on their heels in terms of in the possession style, wrought with passing that TCU likes to play, likes to kind of work the game to their advantage. Kansas is making them uncomfortable and throwing them a little bit off balance so far tonight, and I think that could lead to a couple goals or a couple good chances here in the first half. It's up to Kansas if they can finish those chances and then hold on to any potential lead.
Wood throwing down the right-hand side, trying to find Watts. Back to goal. Baker gets a right peg up in the air to scoop it away. Merlot battling for the ball in the midfield. Gregorski able to win it back. Merlot plays it towards the right, and Diorio scoops it back up for TCU. To the back line we go. Mooney played back towards her goalkeeper. Plashko again. She's got multiple touches in this first half, probably more than the first half combined against BYU and Colorado. Space to work now for TCU. Memoli, right half space, clips it over towards Baker laterally. Baker, past the center line towards Brown, and now back towards Mooney. Imathune, center part, midfield. Center circle, Pena. Off the turn, shoved down. Wood able to get control. Wood clipping it forward towards Watts. She's the highest field player up the pitch for Kansas. Tracked away by Imathune. Plashko again goops it towards safety. Right-hand side, too far for Patton. She retreats, and it's Castens on the ball. 30 minutes, 22 seconds remaining in the first half. TCU 0, Kansas 0 in the 28th Big 12 Soccer Championship. Page calling for it left side. Watts checks in. Quick combo with Castens. Played towards Wimes. Back out towards Castens on the left wing. Intercepted by Hennessy. And towards Imathune once again. Played back towards Plashko again. 14 games started. 1,198 minutes on the season for her. So she's elapsed 1,200 on the season, the Eagan, Minnesota native. Split some starts early on with the freshman Olivia Geller, who will most likely take her spot once she graduates, Plashko. In towards the midfield again for TCU. Space to work again for Ollie Pena. Left half space, out towards Diorio on the left wing, parallel towards the 18. Diorio getting past Conte, end line, left-footed cross, in towards the box, brought down, bouncing around. Castaigne, 1-on-4. Castaigne trying to get a touch to it. So is Patton. Ball still juggling around. Merlot traps it down. Castaigne's got it, and she clears it all the way back towards TCU's half. Kansas's defense again, Luke, coming up clutch.
Doing a good job and coming up clutch there, but kind of disaster averted for the Jayhawks. They sort of played with the ball a little bit in their 6, more than they have all night, and it led to a couple, maybe hold your breath moments if you're a Kansas fan, or even if you're Nate Lee, the head coach. They really got to be just increasingly more clinical. You see the ball, you can boot it out. Just boot it out. Take no chances.
Hennessy, left half space, blocked away by Mackenzie Bovey. That's a center back, Mackenzie Bovey. Out towards Lexi Watts, the center forward on the right-hand side. Watts patrolling forward. Watts right at the edge of the 18, picked away. That's a good challenge. The sleeveless Maddie Mooney able to get to the ball. Can't find Diorio. Wood pressures. Another no-nonsense clearance by Mooney. Ball goes out on the near side. Bodies flailing. That was Castaigne. And a throw-in coming for TCU.
And a little bit of physicality there from Bovey. He's going to toss in Castaigne down with one arm. This Kansas team is bigger than this TCU team. They might not be as pacey. They might not be necessarily as talented on paper, but they are bigger and more physical. And making their presence felt physically is going to be a big part if they can pull off the upset here tonight in Kansas City.
Patton played towards Imethune. Plashko just receives it inside her 18, right down the spine of the pitch. 27 minutes, 40 seconds remaining from CPKC Stadium in this first half. TCU against Kansas in the Big 12 Soccer Championship. Again, TCU on the prowl, going forward. AJ Hennessy down the center, trying to find Ollie Pena. That's clipped away. Out towards the right-hand side, edge of the 18 for Cameron Patton. Right-footed cross in. Can't find Castaigne. That's a good challenge away by Mackenzie Bovey. And now space to work for Kansas on the other side with Kate Langfelder, the dual citizen with U.S. and Switzerland. She checks it back towards Watts. Watts back in Kansas's half as the Jayhawks continue to keep the ball. Played back towards Daw. One-time ball, clipped up, right half space. Can't find Langfelder as it's tried to go forward towards Gregorski. Ball still bouncing in Kansas's defensive half. A nasty collision between Langfelder and it seemed like AJ Hennessy. The referee already calling for the athletic trainer to come out. Langfelder in the white headband able to get up with no problem. Hennessy still down on the pitch as the trainer will look at her. 26 minutes, 49 seconds remaining in this first half. TCU 0, Kansas 0 as both teams head back towards their sideline.
And on that last possession there, that best attacking chance there for TCU, we saw why Kansas is so content to let them operate down the wings and cross the ball in. Kansas is so much taller of a team and so much better in the air that they are very, very comfortable with just letting TCU swing in cross after cross after cross. As long as they are high crosses, Kansas is going to be on the front foot to control them, get them out of danger, and push them back towards the TCU defending third. We saw that happen right there, and it's something Kansas is going to continue to do throughout the night. A good strategy call by Nate Lee. Don't let the pace of don't kind of stretch yourselves too thin worrying about the pace of TCU on the outside. TCU gets really, really good when they can kind of make you go a little bit wider in defense than you're expecting to, cut in on their inside foot, and try shots from distance. We saw them pick up a couple goals in the semifinal just by letting it rip from distance. And this is a team that will try to do that. That's what they want to do. But Kansas can counter that by staying compact, staying tight. That then leads to TCU thinking, okay, let's get wide. Let's try to cross the ball in, float it up high. We know we have pretty good attacking quality and pretty good finishing in the final third. Well, it's kind of hard to finish over somebody that's 5 inches taller than you. And that's what this Kansas backline has. They have this height advantage, this physicality advantage over this TCU attack that's quick, agile, fast, technically adept, but it isn't tall. And you can't really teach or coach height. And that's what Kansas is using to their advantage so far tonight.
So Hennessy back on the near touchline. It doesn't seem like TCU will use a substitution for Hennessy. The ball will drop, and then afterwards, after it goes out, we will see Hennessy return to the pitch. Hennessy making her 21st appearance this season, her 18th start. Hit 1,000 minutes last year, went into this match with 1,074 minutes played. Drop ball back towards TCU, and Baker's got it. Clock continues to run as TCU tries to build on something. They had a good chance before. A lot of balls sent into the box. Nothing coming to fruition quite yet. Here comes Kansas down the right-hand side. Sage Wimes unable to control it. And a throw incoming as we see Langfelder and Hennessy both return to the pitch. So we're back to playing 11v11 ball here at CPKC Stadium. Kansas versus TCU. Diorio dropped down, and another throw incoming, this time for Kansas. Once again, attacking third. Space to work for Wood. Probably 3 to 4 paces behind the touchline. She makes little paces. Just drop down towards Wimes, near side corner. Diorio tries to pick her off. Diorio, the defender turned forward, trying to burst her way forward, clears it. It's deflected out towards Castaigne. Castaigne and TCU trying to build towards the center line, trying to build it back towards the attacking third. Langfelder trying to interrupt the process right now as here comes Kansas again. Conte booted down the line. Space to work again for Wimes. Wimes with Mooney, and Mooney shoves her out. A strong challenge by Maddie Mooney as she'll earn the goal kick for TCU as the ball went out on the near end line.
Both these teams chasing their first goals of the night, and clearly they kind of came out with a more of a defensive-minded approach. Both of them just worrying about how to not concede in the first half because they know whoever scores, big mistake here potentially.
Brought down. Hennessy off the turn, skying this towards the night air as the ball bounces all the way towards the video board's far side. Right near the center line, Caroline Castens with the throw-in. Two-handed shove down the line, cleared away by Imathune. Take 2 for the Jayhawks, further towards Megan Plashko and the Horned Frogs in net. 24:50 remaining in this first half. Kansas 0, TCU 0. The 28th Big 12 Soccer Championships, both of these teams with 1 championship overall. Kansas winning theirs back in 2019, the last time that this tournament was held in Kansas City. TCU on the other side won it in 2021 down in Round Rock, Texas, just outside of Austin. Actually beat Texas 2-1 in that matchup in the championship. Back then it was just 8 teams out of the 12 who would make the final. Down the line again for Kansas. Cleared away by TCU. Watts giving pressure. Watts still going for the ball inside the 18, and Plashko able to scoop it up. Watts very close to taking, at the very least, a dangerous shot on net, but it's not to be right now.
And TCU seemed to think that, once their legs got a little bit tired, the pressure would let up and they'd be able to maybe get away with a mistake or two, operate very well, calmly in back third. That hasn't happened. Kansas has turned on the pressure in these last 5 minutes. They forced a grave mistake out of Plashko down in her own 6, where she kicked it right to a Kansas attacker just on the edge of the 18. Lucky to not concede there. TCU did a good job getting the ball out of danger there. Meanwhile, Watts putting the pressure on this back line. Imathune and Mooney are going to be called upon to really hold it down for the Horned Frogs on the defensive side, because Watts she's running rampant back there. She's getting her feet on every single pass, and she's putting a lot of pressure on these TCU defenders to kind of pass off their back foot, which leads to more inaccuracy and an increased amount of chances for the KU Jayhawks as they continue to have here with 23:10 left in the first half.
Kansas plays the free kick short with Page. Left-footed ball trying to find Wimes. Edge of the 18, now out towards the left wing. Wimes trying to thwart it back. Nobody able to meet it, at least in the ones in the red jerseys. Imathune clears it away for TCU. A 0-0 game here from CPKC Stadium. The second game overall from CPKC Stadium today. We saw the KC Current, the NWSL side, get a victory in their quarterfinal matchup earlier today. This pitch has seen a lot of action over the past day, over the past week, over the past 2 weeks too. 11 games in this Big 12 soccer tournament, the biggest soccer tournament in the history of the Big 12. Castaigne nearly intercepted it from Kansas, tries to get it another time, battles with Conte. Castaigne almost spun down, but she's able to win a throw-in. She'll recollect herself as Baker holds the ball in both of her hands as we see our first change of the day, and it's the usual one out on the right wing in the forward spot. AJ Hennessy out, Cameron Lancaster in for TCU. Lancaster, who scored the equalizer against Colorado. She's been busy in this tournament overall. 2 shots, 1 shot on goal versus BYU. A second throw-in coming up for Baker. Baker looking down the line. Diorio right near her. She'll forgo that option, tries to find Castaigne, and that's knocked out by Bovey. Another throw-in coming up for TCU. 21 minutes, 30 seconds remaining in this first half in the 28th Big 12 Soccer Championship game. Kansas 0, TCU 0. Alongside Luke Lendler, I'm Mahirson Hassan. Thanks for tuning in on this Saturday night on the banks of the Missouri River. Sure to be an interesting one. Two teams that have won this title before, but it's been a few years with a trip to the NCAA tournament on the line. Left-hand side, Mooney plays it towards Brown, and now she has some space ahead of her. Brown glides it over. Space to work for Lancaster on the right. Edge of the 18. Lancaster lifts it in. 7. Castaigne just can't get ahead to it. She was wide open just on the edge of the 6-yard box. Leaps up to get it and just couldn't find the contact to steer that ball on net. 20 minutes, 42 seconds remaining. It is still TCU 0, Kansas 0.
That was an excellent, excellent ball by Brown. I want to highlight that. Just running down the right wing was Lancaster, nobody around her, but you needed to really switch the field and weight that ball perfectly so it arrived just at her feet before the defenders got there. Brown did that perfectly, falling right to the feet of Lancaster, swung the ball in. Yes, just a little bit high for Castaigne, but TCU trying to ramp up the pressure here in these last 20 minutes before half.
Cleared away, no nonsense by Wood. Blaschko, right hand to the air. She'll call for it inside her 18. Off towards Emathune. Played with Memely, and now out towards Patton. Patton, she had Merlot right in her face, and once again, TCU breaking the Kansas press again with Lancaster. Right half space, relatively close towards the attacking third, and now worked back towards the midfield with Memely. Memely skipped over Mooney, Baker. Baker able to get past Wood. Kansas continues to bring the pressure as Wimes knocks it away. Can't keep it in play. A right-footed peg, but she was able to keep a deflection. A throw-in coming for Kansas right in front of its bench, near side. Relatively close towards kind of the edge between the defensive third and the midfield for Kansas. It's actually going to be a free kick in the process. It goes towards Asakante. 19-15 first half. Conte, left hand to the air, right foot through the ball, glides it forward, looking towards Wimes. It's a good stop with basically the back half of her right foot as Wimes tries to continue playing with the ball. Brown able to scoop it up. Now it's played towards the near side corner. It was last touched by Kansas. Goal kick, TCU. Changes coming for the Jayhawks as we'll see Jordan Felstad and Jocelyn Harima check into the game. Bella Diorio will check out for TCU, and Caroline Kelly. White headband, also going with the black gloves as well on this 55-degree night here in Kansas City. Changes coming for both sides. No goals to show for in this championship matchup so far. Mooney plays it out towards Emathune, a little bit behind her, a little bit to the right of her. Nonetheless, able to clear it forward. Brought down again in towards the midfield. And again, space to work. Pena down the middle. Pena tries to scoop it around. Conte clears it away. TCU bringing bodies forward. Scooped forward again by Kansas. Moonball brought down by Brown in the center circle. Brown out towards Baker. Cutting past Felstad. Baker still on the ball. Plays it out towards Pena, and Pena towards the left half space. Memely played through towards Castaigne in the 18. Lancaster, left-footed ball in, just passed. A good chance, a good run overall. And I believe it was Lancaster with the chance cutting inside. But nonetheless, TCU has not challenged Sophie Daw yet today, save for one shot on goal, 5 shots in general, no goals to show for it so far.
Honestly, a surprising lack of clinical finishing tonight from TCU. Not saying that they've played poorly by any stretch. They just haven't really played up to the standard that we've come to expect from them. It felt like in every game so far in this tournament, if that ball is rolling along the edge of the 6 with kind of no defender in sight and a TCU player who could just kind of tap it into the back of the net, that was going to get deposited about 10 times out of 10. This time, and twice already, that hasn't happened. So TCU getting a set-piece opportunity here as they continue to chase their first goal of the game. We'll see if they get even more aggressive, but I think they're doing pretty well so far. If I was Eric Bell, I would tell my team, stay the course, get into halftime, because we know with how we're playing, we're going to score sooner rather than later.
Free kick coming for TCU. I'd say probably 30 yards away from goal. The mark made with the ref's white paint. It's Pena and Memoli over the ball. Watts again, the one-woman wall, getting some instructions from Sophie Daw in net. Players lined up on the far side of the pitch. Memoli lifts this one in towards the box, over the head of Brown. Ball still in the area. Patton gives chase to it. Patton, nice move to get past Harima. Thwarted in. Brown can't get a touch to it. Mooney can't either, and it's a penalty. Or rather, no,
Wow.
it's not.
Nope.
It's not. It's a goal kick. And now it looks like, pardon me,
No, it's the ref saying
we'll
penalty.
see
I
the
think he
review.
is.
So the ref will check towards VAR, and maybe it is a penalty. Let's see. It was unclear on whether or not he was pointing towards a penalty spot or towards the goal as a goal kick for Sophie Daw. Either way, from my angle, it looked like it hit somebody's hand. The question was, did it hit Kansas or did it hit TCU? If it hit Kansas, it's a penalty. If it hit TCU, it's a free kick.
And of course, the age-old question and everybody's favorite phrase, natural position. Was the hand in a natural position? That's what we're going to look at right now, but potentially a game-changing call here.
So a big call coming up.
Chavdrov. This is a big moment here. 16:04 left, no goals yet.
Kansas lined up relatively close towards their box. TCU still out on the pitch. Just a players-only meeting right now. We've seen Eric Bell on the right-hand side. He's gotten in towards some action, standing up right now in his own coach's box. Black cap, black jacket, black pants, black shoe. In some ways, trying to play the villain on this Saturday night in front of this mostly Kansas crowd. Nate Lee going in towards this matchup. He was making the rounds on the radio station, and he basically said at the end of his interview, he said, hey, can I pull a plug? And he said, you know, Kansas football is playing at Arrowhead Stadium earlier today against Iowa State. That's at 2:30, and then this game's at 7 o'clock. VAR comes out, no handball.
Big call there. That could have been a game changer early on. This TCU team that once they have the lead, they don't often relinquish it. This is a Kansas team that hasn't conceded a goal in what feels like an eternity, at least all tournament they haven't. And so for them to kind of survive that potential little scare, potentially gives you a little bit of confidence going forward, but also this defense knows they're playing really well right now. And the biggest, one of the most important factors to a defense is confidence. If you feel confident in your position and confident in your communication, you don't second guess each other. When doubt creeps into your mind as a defender, that's when you kind of leave channels open, you potentially expose gaps because you're worried about too many things at once. Self-confidence leads to team confidence, and that leads to quality defending.
15:47 remaining in this first half. Nate Lee telling the fans, hey, if you're going to the football game, go to the football game, get a bite to eat, and then come here to CPKC Stadium for this matchup. Throwing now for TCU, Cameron Patton, the right back, to take it. She's looking for options near the midfield marker. Just aiming towards the right, inching forward, now drops it down towards Memoli. Played around, a good ball sent around towards Baker in the left half space. And again, green grass going forward for her, gliding out towards the left, trying to find Kelly. A little bit of miscommunication as Felstad intercepts. It's cleared, it's brought down. Ball back towards TCU. Mooney, Memoli, out towards Baker. Baker trying to find an option. Ball played forward towards Lancaster. Lancaster out towards Kelly. Control with the left boot, trying to get past Conte, trying to get past Felstad as well. Got past both of them, left off towards Baker. Baker's left-footed cross, last touched by Baker. So a goal kick coming up for Kansas. A lot of chances so far in this matchup. TCU has been on the front foot early and often in this one. Seven Castaigne with the best chance just a few moments ago. Wide open near the 6, just couldn't get the best head to the ball. It ends out going wide left. Kansas started the game pressuring within the first 10 minutes. They've been on the back foot ever since. Lexi Watts with the best chance for them. Just continued pressuring, almost got a shot off against Megan Plashko, but then it ended out going in towards Plashko's hands.
On that last TCU attack, they swung a really good pass. You even noted it. It was a great pass, out wide, reversing the field. The recovery by the Jayhawks was incredible. It feels like they're playing with 13 defenders right now. They're doing a really, really good job covering the open space, staying home, and shutting down TCU attacks, making them play from difficult angles and not letting them get a look straight on.
Cross whipped in, chested down by Memley, edge of the 18. She plays it towards Pena. Pena leaves it off towards Lancaster. Lancaster, again, past the midfield marker. She's got a runner out towards the right. That was Patton. It's picked off and played forward by Castens. Emathune picks it off and back towards Plashko. Both teams at times struggling to just keep the ball towards themselves. 13 minutes, 20 seconds remaining in this first half. 0-0 between TCU and Kansas. Lancaster pips this down, looking towards Castaigne. Knocked out by Bovey, far side, and a throw-in for the Horned Frogs. Patton takes it quickly, trying to find a runner. That's Castaigne. Langfelder intercepts. Bovey with a right-footed ball out towards... That's Lexi Watts. Watts trying to cut inside against Baker. Watts again cutting more inside. Now she's towards the left half space. Now she resets. Lexi Watts with a chance from roughly 25 yards out. It just goes wide right, and it doesn't bother Megan Plashko in goal. A roughly easy day for the goalkeepers so far. 12:37, still 0-0.
Plashko looked at that one, didn't even move, and then looked back at Watts with this expression on her face like, that's all you got. Challenge me a little bit. I'm sure Watts will as the game goes on, but kind of a telltale sign of what these goalkeepers have faced so far tonight. It's been quality backline defending, and the goalkeepers have not had to play hero so far tonight in Kansas City.
Watts scored the game winner against West Virginia 101 minutes into the match, and it was just a ball that was played right towards the left half space. Pretty direct. She beat West Virginia's goalkeeper, and that was game. That was the first upset Kansas pulled to get here. The other against TCU on Wednesday, a 2-1 victory here at CPKC Stadium. Horned Frogs again with the ball. Lancaster, right wing, back towards Memley, in towards TCU's half, back with Emathune. Midfield marker, Brown, Baker. Baker, right-footed ball towards Pena. The Big 12 midfielder of the year. Relatively quiet, though, in this tournament as Pena tries to skip forward. Kelly trying to go forward as well. Scooped out by Felstad just towards the left of her bench. A throw-in now for TCU. Inching towards that left wing. Baker going for the throw-in as a whistle blows. A tussle between Kelly and Felstad. And Felstad will issue the apologies, so will Kelly. 11:19 remaining in the first half. And now here we go again. Baker. Plopped down. Lancaster fresh off the check-in. A 3-on-1 right now as Lancaster just outnumbered as here comes Kansas again. It's Langfelder played down the line. Harima, Jocelyn Harima going forward, picked away by Jenny Emathune. A great recovery by TCU center back.
Good recovery there by Emathune and just nice being a cool head back there. That ball overweighted a little bit, overcooked as you like to say, but nonetheless a good chance for Kansas. Throw in from a threatening position now.
10:46 remaining in the first half. Right wing throw in for Kansas. Out towards Felstad, the thrower. Felstad controlling near the corner, and she lost it. It just went out, I believe, on the touch line rather than the end line, so it will be a throw-in for TCU as we see more changes come in for Kansas. Emika Kalagish from Osaka, Japan, and Sophia Nickel from Golden, Colorado. Change made for TCU as well, as we'll see Sarah Brocious head into the game. Her first appearance since the Colorado matchup on October 5th out in Boulder. Near side throw-in for the Horned Frogs. Approaching 10 minutes remaining in this first half, 35 minutes through from CPKC Stadium. Kansas controlling. Jocelyn Harima just can't target that ball towards net. It thwarts out on the far touch line, not the end line, the touch line, and it's now a throw-in for TCU on that side of the pitch. Lancaster mauled down from behind, and now we'll see a free kick for the Horned Frogs.
That would have been an excellent ball to the back post there for Kansas if anybody was at the back post. Nonetheless, the Jayhawks doing a pretty good job ramping the pressure up here in the last quarter of an hour before halftime as we're now inside of 10 minutes. Feels like there's a goal coming. Does it come in the next 10 minutes? Jury's still out on that one. Both these teams getting down into the attacking third well, but not necessarily making those finishing moves to put themselves on the score sheet. But right now, TCU standing over a free kick, and they can absolutely operate in that final third well. We've seen it from them all season. And so for them to continue this attacking quality, they're going to have to be a little bit better in that final third.
Speaking of final third, they're back in there right now. Right wing throw-in coming up towards Patton. Patton down the line, headed away by Page. Take two now for the Horned Frogs. The #1 seed in the Big 12, the conference regular season champions, as they've been so multiple times in the 2020s. Patton, Memley. Memley played back towards Imathune. Imathune slides it over towards the left half space for her fellow center back, Maddie Mooney. Mooney back towards Imathune. 8:28 remaining in this first half. Towards the midfield, Lancaster, Imathune, Mooney. Mooney does not play it out towards the left. She plays it towards the right as TCU continues to reset all the way back towards goal, and Plashko. That invites a little bit of Kansas pressure as Mooney gets control of it, tries to play it forward. That's picked off by Asakante of Kansas. Caroline Kelly tracks back for TCU as the ball continues to make its way around the midfield mark. Caroline Kelly picks it up, and it's a ball played through towards Castaigne. Flags down for now. 7 Castaigne in the 18. 7 Castaigne! What a save by Sophie Daw! Right inside the 18, Castaigne let it fly with her right boot, and Sophie Daw almost caught it like a wide receiver, but ends out parrying it on the end line, the far end line, out for a corner kick for TCU. 7 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in this first half. It is still TCU 0, Kansas 0.
The first lesson they teach goalkeepers, do not get beat near post, and wow, what a job done there by Sophie Daw to protect her near post. Did a really good job reaching up above her head, like you just said, parrying that ball away. A shot that had pace on it from Castaigne. Daw holds down for now.
Left-footed corner kick does not even go into play. It goes out on the side netting. Doesn't trouble the Kansas defense at all. 6 shots for TCU, 2 on target, 2 for Kansas. None troubling Megan Plashko in goal for TCU. 3 corners on the day, though, for the Horned Frogs, only 1 for the Jayhawks. Ball marked on the left side, right inside the 6-yard box for Sophie Daw for this goal kick. Lofted forward, well short of the midfield marker. Won back by TCU momentarily as Langfelder lifts this out towards Felstad. One-time ball played forward with the right boot, cleared back by TCU, clipped forwards, down towards Castaigne. Not the best ball there by Jordan Whiteker as it's out for a goal kick for Kansas. Still a lot of time left to be played in this first half, Luke, but at the same time, you have to credit Kansas, but you also have to be a little concerned for how they've really approached this first half from a defensive perspective.
And they've done a good job defending, but they're still kind of defending by the skin of their teeth, and that's not something that's easy to maintain over a 90-minute game. I mean, sure, they're doing a great job. Let's not discredit the strong job they've done so far. But they've gotten a little bit lucky with TCU's kind of finishing ability in the final third. But most of all, I fear for their legs and for their stamina and for their kind of ability to stay strong and stay as active as they've been so far in the second half.
Harima trying to get a touch to it. Kalgish brings this down on the right-hand side. Their bench is telling them to go forward, Kansas, as Felstad tries to thread through towards Harima. Down the right-hand side, Jocelyn Harima, right-footed cross in, caught by Plashko near side. Dangerous chance. No shots, but Plashko called into action. She's had more action with her feet, just trying to play the ball out from the back in this first half. Able to catch that ball right there. She plays it short. It's clipped. It's picked. Story of the game as Kansas tries to drive forward. TCU picks it off. It's back with the Horned Frogs as it's sent out towards the left-hand side for Whiteker. Whiteker trying to press forward. She gets past a Jayhawk as Whiteker pips it forward. Langfelder heads it back. Brown, left half space, edge of the midfield. Brown, left-footed ball, just can't thread Patton through. She's in that right back spot, Patton, and now she has to track back Emathune able to collect again for TCU in the defensive third. 4 minutes, 30 seconds to go from CPKC Stadium in this first half. 0-0 between Kansas and TCU. Two teams that have won the Big 12 championship before. Kansas in 2019, TCU in 2021. They have not won another title since. Ball goes out near side. Throw-in coming for Kansas. More changes coming as Shea Ryan will check in towards the attacking line. And we'll see Reina Canus, one of the goal scorers from the Texas Tech victory, check in towards the midfield. Jordan Felstad will make the trot over for the throw-in. Michaela Merlo will check out along with Jocelyn Harima.
Ryan got a lot of run in the West Virginia game. I mean, everybody did. That game went to 2 overtimes, but still got more run than she usually does in that one and did a pretty good job producing chances, putting the pressure on the West Virginia defense. I'm sure that Nate Lee is going to look for her to do that so far tonight.
Throw incoming, Felstad, a little scoop, a long throw down, headed up by Kelly. Kawagish glides it back towards TCU's back line. Emathune back towards Plashko. Inside her 18, Plashko leaves it off towards the right-hand side. Cameron Patton. Greengrass ahead of her, a couple touches, lifted forward towards Lauren Memely. Memely, one of the players on the Big 12 All-Conference second team. She plays it laterally. It's picked off by Felstad. Space to work for Kansas on the right-hand side with Shea Ryan. Ryan will take the right wing. Felstad will take the right half space. It's Ryan on the ball, a 1-on-2. Kelly pressuring, a nifty back heel towards Felstad, and her first time cross nowhere close towards the Jayhawk. Brought down by Mooney, back towards Baker. Baker scoops it forward, and here's Castaigne. Castaigne 1-on-2 right now, just trying to get past the defender. That was Conte as Bovey stomps it forward. It's back towards Mooney. Both center backs getting involved with the ball, just trying to send it back towards the other side of the pitch. It's back towards Kansas now. 22-23 remaining in this first half, still 0-0.
And with 2 minutes left, it kind of just feels like Kansas hoping to hold the ball and just get the last possession out of it. As I say that, they turn it over.
Kelly towards Castaigne. Castaigne turning towards the center part of the pitch. Lancaster plays it out towards Kelly on the left-hand side. Kelly, left-footed ball in towards the back post over Lancaster, and 2 forward for her. A run given by Brocious as Brocious plays it out towards the left-hand side. Space to work for Patton, but she plays it back towards Memely. Memely in towards the center circle. Mooney looking up pitch, pops it forward. Conte skies it up. Brown bouncing, Page bouncing, Patton. Memely controls. Right half space, now on the right-hand side for Patton. Right-footed ball in by Patton, past Bovey. Conte heads it down. Castaigne with a chance. Castaigne edge of the 18, in towards the center part of the pitch. She plays it back towards Brown. Brown out towards Weicker on the left wing. Weicker lifts this into the box. That's headed away by Bovey and crew, and Canust once again guides it towards safety. Mooney in the midfield, near side of the pitch. Plays it down towards Lancaster, guarded against by Kawagish. Weicker, Mooney plays it all the way back towards Plashko. Less than a minute to go from CPKC Stadium in this first half. TCU has been on the attacking foot for most of these opening 45 minutes. No goals to show for it. Kansas has been defending. No goals to show for them either. Ball played back. It's back with Kansas. A turnover from Plashko towards Weicker, as Felstad will walk over to take this throw-in. 33 seconds remaining in this first half. Felstad, guided run, lofting this forward, headed away, brought down, juggled. Felstad out on the right, can't find Ryan, as it's a throw-in now for Weicker. Weicker on the left, looking up pitch, trying to find her option. She's looking for Castaigne. It's Kelly that heads it back. Conte boots it out. 8 seconds left in this first half as the countdown begins from CPKC Stadium. 1 second remaining, and that will do it for the first half here from Kansas City on the banks of the Missouri River. It's 0-0 between #1 TCU and #6 Kansas in the 28th Big 12 Soccer Championship. Luke, some interesting moments for both sides. But I think the biggest thing, at least for me, is that TCU was on the attacking foot. They just couldn't find the back of the net.
TCU commanding the game, controlling possession like they like to do, but no goal. Surprising. Perhaps the nerves of the final getting them a little bit. Some attacking third quality that you'd like to see improve a little bit. If you're Eric Bell, head coach of the Horned Frogs, at the end of the day, neither team is going to be dissatisfied with that performance. TCU knows, hey, we're controlling this game. Let's come out in the second half. Let's do it again, and we'll find that goal. Kansas knows, hey, we're defending pretty well. Yeah, we've exposed ourselves to a couple chances, but at the end of the day, it's been the Kansas center backs that have controlled kind of what TCU does in the final third. They have not let TCU dictate the flow of attack. Really just TCU gets the ball there, and then Kansas is like, welcome to our territory. Here's how we run things. So for the Jayhawks in the second half, just take advantage of the little chances you're producing. They have a couple good runs every now and then. They haven't gotten a shot on goal yet, but you just know that Watts is going to find a way behind the defensive line. Wimes might find a way behind the defensive line. One of these Jayhawk players is going to get that one good chance in the second half. Got to deposit it. Got to finish it off, because you never know how many shots on goal a strong team like TCU will produce in that second half. Regardless, both teams are fully in this match, and I'm excited for a close second half.
6 shots for TCU, 2 shots for Kansas, 2 shots on goal for the Horned Frogs, none for the Jayhawks, 2 saves by Sophie Daw, a couple of good chances, including one from Seven Castaigne. She was just playing that ball in the right half space, took a shot towards the upper right-hand corner, and Daw just paws it away out towards the end line. That's the best chance we've had for TCU to try to break the deadlock. Kansas with a couple chances as well. We still have 45 minutes to go here from CPKC Stadium. We have yet to find a winner. We have yet to find a champion. A quick break for halftime, and we'll be back for the second half right after this on Blaze Radio and the Blaze Sports YouTube page.
I thought I released a good album until Naughty Step said it was bad.
I hear this project and I am frustrated.
I better listen to Blaze Radio.
Hi, I'm Pedro. Did you know you can listen to anything? Blaze Radio says you can, and so do I. I believe that until listened to, every song, album, EP, and DJ set is hot until proven otherwise.
And that's why I fight for you, headbangers. Hot FM.
Hot FM on Blaze Radio. Listen live every Monday at 11 a.m. on blazeradioonline.com. That's blazeradioonline.com.
This is what I wanted. It's what I've been waiting for these cars to come off of this corner. And guys, it's showtime. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Ooh, let's go racing today, boys.
Are you a racing fan or want to learn more about the sport? Join Cooper Burns and Eric List every Tuesday from 1 to 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on Blaze Radio as they discuss everything from NASCAR to dirt racing and more on Fuel for Thought.
How to throw a football.
Hike.
How to hit a baseball off a bat. How to make a basketball go through the hoop and make that swish sound. These are all questions we wonder when we are learning how to play a sport. But have you ever wondered what it may be like to interview someone who is in the sports industry? Like, how do I become a broadcaster? How do I become a graphic designer? How do I become a public address announcer? It's all here. How to Sports, your go-to sports industry leading show here on Blaze Radio and blazeradioonline.com. Tune in every Saturday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. with Ryan Posesnik, Max Williams, and Tyler Wargo. How to Sports. It's in the game.
Grab your mates and join us for the finest sports show on Blaze Radio, The Irish Hello. With the wisdom of the Irish duo, you'll have the knowledge of old pals at the pub, sharing each and every moment. Join Aidan O'Neill and Shay Maloney every Wednesday night from 8:30 to 9:30 for breakdowns of sports news across the world as a pot of gold awaits.
Welcome to 4 on 4, where we have all 4 experts on the 4 major sports. Join Sammy Newt, Dylan Wickman, Justin DeHaas, and Sean Brennan on Blaze Radio as they break down an exciting semester of sports that includes the MLB postseason, top NFL storylines, the biggest offseason news from the NBA and NHL, and anything relevant happening in the sports world. At the end of the day, we're just 4 roommates that love to talk sports. So join the conversation. Listen live on blazeradioonline.com every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Arizona time, or if you missed us, check us out on Spotify, where you can hear all of our shows.
Hi, I'm Casey McNulty.
And I'm Brooklyn Cohen.
And welcome to The Hot Seat, where each week we answer your burning sports questions. Want to hear us settle sports debates and talk about our biggest takes in the sports world? Well, we've got you covered.
As two former athletes and current sports journalists, we offer the perspective of what it's like to be on the field or court
or pool.
So tune in every week at 10 a.m. on blazeradioonline.com.
See you in the hot seat.
Coming this fall, Friday Night Lights Camera Action, Blaze Radio's premier sports movie talk show returns.
There's no crying in Friday Night Lights Camera Action.
If you ain't first, then watch Friday Night Lights Camera Action.
Guys, there are rich teams and there are poor teams. And then there's 50 feet of crap. And then there's people who don't watch Friday Night Lights Camera Action.
Remember the time Friday Night Lights Camera Action showed up at halftime and Blaze Radio won the Bourbon Bowl? Friday Night Lights Camera Action, Friday starting at 9 p.m. Arizona time on blazeradioonline.com.
Now go out there and take it.
What's up, everyone? Life is confusing, so I, Natalia Marin, have decided to answer some of life's wonders, asking the question, does it work? AKA the name of my new show, Does It Work? Will have fun conversations featuring my hours of research, evaluating if cultural phenomenons, government systems, and psychological theories actually work. Make sure to listen live every Monday at 9 a.m. on blazeradioonline.com to see, if it works.
Just a music show on Tuesdays from 3:30 to 4:30. A show about sampling. Hosted by a city boy named Shane Saya. Talking about free samples.
Ever feel like you don't quite fit the mold?
A Little Unorthodox breaks it completely.
Join us as we dive into the messy intersections of faith, identity, and culture with stories that don't always follow the rules.
From in-depth interviews
to live event coverage,
we're here to explore what it really means to belong or not.
Join us, Emily Fox-Million
and Abe Mogelson,
on Sunday at 11 a.m.
Because sometimes the best way to make sense of it all is by getting a little unorthodox.
Yes, sir. Nah, I'm hearing what you're saying, but what's your take though? Yeah, he's cool, but Heisman? That team don't got nobody on there who could shoot any type of threes. I'm supposed to believe they're a playoff team? You're not answering the question. The question is, who is the better football team right now? Hey, I like that take right there. And it's not even close. What are we talking about? There's no midfielder as naturally talented as him in the last 20 years. Tune in to Let's Talk Takes every week, hosted by me, Devin Henderson, where I bring in different guests each week and we debate the most pressing topics in a variety of sports. I'm talking NFL, NBA, college basketball, college football. We even gonna talk about some soccer. Tune in every week, Thursday, 2 to 3 p.m. right here on blazeradioonline.com.
Hey, it's me again. It's your good friend, Max Cepeda. And the only guarantee I can give you is this. Any Tuesday night, anything can happen.
God, you're so good at interviewing, Max. Someone give him an award.
It ain't about the game, it's about the game. You feel me, Max?
That's
it ain't about the game, it's about the game.
She decided she was too good for Disney, and I was like,
she wins no matter what. Taylor
crazy.
Swift is always right.
Blaze Radio presents The World According to Zippy, Season 3. Tuesdays at 8 p.m. only on Blaze Radio and blazeradioonline.com and wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, why are you crying?
Charlie Blackmon's gone!
What do you mean Charlie Blackmon's gone? You got Zach Veen that will be ready to be called up in center field.
Who's Zach Veen?
You get to hear all about Zach Veen every Monday from 8 to 9 on Up on Deck on Blaze Radio.
Every Monday, baby!
The following is the Fatal 4-Way Podcast, and it is scheduled for one fall.
Join Luke Carter, Justin Lacertosa, Luca Lindo, and Dylan Oliver every Monday from 4 to 4:30, where we talk about all the high-flying, table smashing, eyebrow raising, limousine riding action, and professional wrestling.
Welcome to your favorite show where everything is untitled, unscripted, and unhinged.
Us Podsmiths and Yes Podsmiths are what professional podcasters are called. Let's just say we're your favorite Podsmiths.
On our show, we discuss a variety of different topics and segments, from the latest news to your favorite tunes.
And it's not just us. Every week we bring in a special guest to shake things up.
So join me, CJ Stevenson,
and me, Kate Nakamura, every Monday at 4:30 p.m. on Blaze Radio.
Hey ya! Want to stay up to date with what's up in the gaming industry? Want to listen to a girl yap about her gaming opinions and hot takes? Then tune in Wednesdays at 4 p.m. for Power Up on BlazeRadioOnline.com to join me, Chaz Alvin, as I walk you through the latest and greatest in gaming news, from PC to console, from indie to AAA, while also discussing what makes video games such an interesting and engaging art form. See you then!
We listen to the show for magic. We listen to the A-list to rant, to laugh, to argue, because we need that, all of us.
That indescribable feeling we get when the on-air sign lights up and we review movies you've probably seen before.
Not just entertained, but somehow informed. Much more than new. 12 noon, every single Tuesday.
Somehow, from Larissa, Gibbs, Zach, and Spencer, our show feels like you're talking to the 4 worst people you know. Because here, you are.
The A-list. We make movies worse.
Howdy everyone, it's Jack Footer, aka JFoo, and I'm here to let you know the JFoo Show is back. Every Sunday morning at 10 o'clock, I'll be playing you fantastic tunes from the JFoo theme of the week to get your Sunday fun day off and rolling and make you feel good. So tune in to the JFoo Show every Sunday morning at 10 o'clock right here on Blaze Radio, streaming exclusively at BlazeRadioOnline.com.
Do you ever wonder what the backstory is behind some of your favorite songs? Where do artists get their inspiration from? Hi, my name is Nicola Hendro.
And I'm Brooklyn Cohen, and welcome to Inspired. On Inspired, we will be sharing some of the fun facts behind the iconic songs you know and love.
Tune in to Inspired on Blaze Radio at BlazeRadioOnline.com every Monday at 10 a.m. Arizona time as we break down the inspiration behind the iconic lyrics.
Get inspired!
Hey guys, we're Liv and Maddie, and this is our specialty show, Out of Tune, on Blaze Radio. If you listen to music, we like to talk about it. Tune in for live concert coverage and ticket giveaways on Mondays at 2:30 to 3. Tune in!
We were just a couple of posers with guitars. They were always out of tune.
Do you like Philadelphia sports?
Do you think Tanner McKee is the best third-string quarterback in the NFL?
Does Nate Gary bring up bad memories?
Is the Philly Fanatic the best mascot in sports?
Then you should tune in to Philly Out West on Blaze Radio, the show about all things Philly sports based in Phoenix.
Jack Hartsonis and Charlie Limoncelli cover all the details of Philadelphia sports every Thursday night at 8 p.m. MST.
That's Phillies, Eagles, Sixers, and all the latest Philly news and culture.
We're bringing Philly to the desert.
The rise and fall of the Persian Empire, the history of shoelaces, the anatomy of a jellyfish, the difference between Portuguese and Portugal and Brazil. Have you ever wanted to take a deep dive on a topic like one of these, but just couldn't find the time or the means to do so? Hi, I'm DJ King, and on my show, The Depths of Knowledge, I do a deep dive on similar topics every Monday from 3:30 to 4. So if you want to know more about the world around you, come join me in exploring the depths.
Hey everyone, it's Alex Swift from Park the Bus.
And as we say now in my country, they brought the bus and they left the bus in front of the goal.
If you want to stay updated with the world of soccer or hear 3 Arsenal fans tell you why we're better than Spurs,
but Tottenham, it's the history of the Tottenham.
Come check out Park the Bus with me, Alex Swift, Alexander McDonald, and Bob Blue, Tuesdays, 9 to 10 a.m. at blazeradioonline.com.
All right. Here we go, guys and gals. And boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, drivers.
Race to blazeradioonline.com every Tuesday at 9:30 Arizona time for an hour of motorsports madness.
Join myself, Andrew Hazlett, and my co-host Ethan Ignatowski for the Loose Wheel Show. We'll tell you everything you need to know for the upcoming race week.
From news to predictions, we have you covered, so make sure to tune in.
Tyler Bednar, wake up. What time is it? It's bedtime. Okay, then why are you waking me up? No, it's time for It's Bedtime. It's a specialty show on Blaze Radio. That sounds cool. When does it air and what do you talk about? The show takes place every Wednesday from 11 to 11:30 p.m. I recap the past week of sports with special guests. That sounds awesome, Tyler. I'm going to start tuning in on blazeradioonline.com.
I thought I released a good album until Naughty Step said it was bad.
I hear this project and I am frustrated.
I better listen to Blaze Radio.
Hi, I'm Pedro. Did you know you can listen to anything? Blaze Radio says you can, and so do I. I believe that until listened to, every song, album, EP, and DJ set is hot until proven otherwise.
And that's why I fight for you, headbangers. Hot FM.
Hot FM.
Back with you here at CPKC Stadium on the banks of the Missouri River that is now shrouded in darkness as we have moved on to the late night time period here. We have 45 minutes of regulation left to decide a Big 12 champion tonight. It is TCU 0, the 1 seed, undefeated. It is Kansas 0, the 6 seed, a Cinderella run for the local Jayhawks here in Kansas City, Missouri. Second half is going to be good. Neither team scored in the first half. Both teams had chances. What are you looking for from both these squads heading into the second 45 minutes?
I think for Kansas is just trying to get something on the counterattack. A lot of these moments in the midfield where the ball's just going back and forth and nobody's really able to control it for both sides. And Kansas needs to really take those moments and really drive it in towards the counterattack. We've seen TCU do that overall, just not really steer it in towards the back of the net. Speaking of TCU, I mean, they've been going in towards the attacking third. They just haven't been able to really challenge Sophie Daw. They had that good chance with Seven Castaigne, but that's pretty much it.
As the second half gets underway, it'll be TCU possession, building from the back line. Mooney with it. She gets it back to Plashko. Plashko faced with Jayhawk pressure, but she avoids it calmly, gets it back to Mooney. Mooney will go wide to Memoli, who's chopped down, but no foul called. Mooney will get the loose ball and swing it deep towards the TCU attacking third. It's still deflected around a couple times. It'll go out of bounds for a Horned Frog throw in, just on the edge, you'd say, of their defending third after a couple long moon balls back and forth. Loose, now controlled. Here's Pena with it, cutting towards the middle of the field. She's trying to operate, and she does. Gets a little bit wide. Here's Memoli. Memoli sends it out wide to Patton. Looking for options. Patton still standing over the ball here by the corner flag. Turns back. Her pass finds the feet of a Kansas defender who clears it out, but it finds Memoli. Memoli tries to play Pena through. Ball's a little too heavy, and it'll go long. Kansas will clear it, but it'll end up just at the feet of Imathune. Imathune back to Plashko. Plashko, just on the edge of her 18, swings it out wide. To the left side now, left center back. Mooney has it. She gets up ahead. Here's Hennessy. All over the field, AJ Hennessy, now playing a center role. She plays through. Here's Kelly. Kelly has a one-on-one with the keeper. She tries it. A good save made by Daw. The follow is scooped up by Daw. Sophie Daw, the captain, coming up in these big moments, playing hero for the Jayhawks here in Kansas City.
Those are some of the most stressful moments as a goalkeeper. You're one-on-one caught in this really trance area, and it's, again, Caroline Kelly just read the run, got into towards space and just couldn't find it, and Sophie Daw she just was big in that moment, right? You hear that a lot from goalkeeper coaches. Just get big in net, right? Make sure that the attack knows that you're there, and that's what Sophie Daw has done tonight.
Daw shut down the angle well, not giving Kelly a lot of options, but still, the first good chance really of the whole game belongs to TCU. With 42:55 left in the second half, it is still Horned Frogs nothing, Jayhawks nothing here at CPKC Stadium, but TCU commands possession, will command the ball. As of right now, Mooney back to Plashko. Plashko standing on the edge of her D, her heels touching the white paint. Gets it out to the left to Mooney. Mooney turning back towards the center of the field, switches the field, looking for Patton. The ball just gets there, but Patton takes a heavy touch. It's scooped up. Here's Watts with it now. Watts trying to operate her way towards the middle of the field. Hits it back. It's controlled. Here's Merlot with it. Merlot behind. Page with it. Page sending a ball through, looking for Wimes, but just a little bit too far to the left. It'll roll over the end line. It'll be a Plashko goal kick. And the Horned Frogs will get the ball back with 42-13 left in the second half of this Big 12 final. I mean, here, it's the final. We've been here for seemingly forever and ever, but still, it's been a little bit less than 2 weeks. We've had some excellent games. Could this one top them all here in the second half?
I don't know. I mean, from a stakes perspective, yes, it does top them all. And we've had a lot of games just come down to the wire, whether it's a team just pressuring for a goal or someone scores a game winner in the past 15 minutes.
As there's a chance here, Wimes got a high bounce, tries one, it's saved. Another good save. Plashko minding her net quite well. The ball just bounced up and over the head of Mooney. Wimes put the ball on the outside of her right boot and then tried to fire it near post, but Plashko read her the whole way, covering the near post well, falling on top of the ball. 2 big saves made by these keepers that weren't called into action very often in the first half. Now Mooney with it by her corner flag. Deep in the left side. Cutting towards the edge of the 18, gets out to Pena. Kansas is high press, causing problems for the Horned Frogs here in the second half. The long ball, a little bit too long. Wimes with it now. Edge of the 18, takes a touch, but it's too big. Deflected a couple times, controlled. Here's Hennessy. Hennessy up to Pena, who takes a touch, scoops it up. Kelly. Kelly has Diorio running down the field, plays her through, but a nice step in front by Conte. Still loose. Horned Frog ball now. Pena out wide, Diorio. Diorio, edge of the 6, tries one. Another good save by Daw. Daw doesn't control it though. Memoli tries to put it back in. It's deflected out of bounds. It'll be a TCU corner kick. This game really opening up. 40-40 left in this one. 0-0 on the scoreboard. It'll be a Horned Frog corner kick.
Much more open, and that's another good stop by Sophie Daw. She just read the ball well. That's a tough angle for Diorio to shoot on. She was trying to get Caroline Kelly in the area. That's just a good chance.
Pena floats one in, takes a couple deflections, now floated back in on the other side by Patton. Nobody there except a Kansas defender who clears it out in the direction of Watts, but it's just a little bit too long. Diorio with it now on the right side, inverting her normal left winger role. Controls the ball, touching towards the middle of the field, tries to play Kelly through, but a nice slide tackle made. Really just getting stuck in there was Bovey, doing a good job. She just swings it out wide. Now up the right wing come the Jayhawks. Wood looking for options. She tries to play Wimes, but it's deflected by Brown. It'll go out of bounds. Last touch by a Kansas midfielder. That's going to say last touch by Wimes. It'll be a TCU throw-in right around the midfield stripe.
Much more open, Luke. And I think the other thing is, too, is Kansas is trying to really press this back line of TCU. That's something they did in the first half and just couldn't find a true shot on goal other than just really force the position on average to be on TCU's half.
Patton trying to play Pena through. Ball a little bit behind her, but TCU still holds it. Out wide with Hennessy now. She cuts towards the edge of the 18, now cuts back out wide. She's parallel with the edge of the 18. Another touch towards the end line. The cross, loose but deflected over the back of the net. Nice play there by Asa Conte, the center back for the Jayhawks. And whew, chance after chance for these two teams. TCU with the pressure a little bit more than the Jayhawks, though, in the second half.
Yeah, and I think those forwards are just playing with more confidence to start off with. They're really challenging their defenders. They're going into one-on-one spots. They don't really need too much interplay because they feel confident that they can take on the players themselves.
Horned Frogs going to take the corner short, as they are often doing. Played back to Diorio along the end line. Big touch into the box, but the big touch is controlled by Kansas defenders. They clear it out wide. A chance for Emily from distance. It's blocked. So it'll trickle back out towards the half-field line. Imathune floating it towards 3 TCU white shirts. Popped up in the air by Conte. Still loose on the edge of the 18 now, trickling towards half-field. It won't get there. It's intercepted again and sent back into the box by a Horned Frog, who will find none of her teammates there. Baker trying to put it in for an attacker. Really, there were no attackers there. It's scooped up by Daw. Kansas will have it now at the edge of the 18th. Daw's just going to roll it, looking and finding Castens. Castens now hitting it wide. Langfelder tries to play it through. There's just nobody home. It'll trickle out of bounds, the edge of Kansas attacking third. And with 38 minutes left, it is still 0-0 after 2 great chances for TCU and 1 good chance for Kansas to start this second half.
I think both coaches have to look at what those forwards have done and say, hey, I mean, we got chances, right? We've got chances. We both have said something's got to give in this sort of matchup, right? These are 2 very disciplined teams. It's just who can really break that lever and find the back of the net. And both of these teams have just come really close to it, and it just comes down to what the goalkeeper has done.
The referee going to stop play here for a foul to have a word with a couple different Jayhawk players and Pena. Langfelder was sent crashing to the ground by Pena. So it looks to be a Kansas free kick, not necessarily in a threatening position, but not one of no danger to TCU either. Referee still stopping play, looking down at a Jayhawk that could be injured, could just be cramping, taking a minute. The biggest crowd we've had of any of the games so far here, you got to think that's to do with the home crowd. It's also to do with the stakes of this one. It feels nice to see that lower bowl kind of filled in.
Yeah, it certainly does. And we were here, you know, in the first rounds, and sometimes where you'd have some sort of matchup where you have teams that have to make hour drives to get here, and you almost see nobody there. And again, sometimes you have these matchups that happen on a weekday at like 9 a.m. You have to remember that the first 2 rounds, those games were moved up because of severe weather in the Kansas City area. So the first match kicked off at 9 a.m. There are some people who just don't get up before 9 a.m. So it's nice to have this sort of matchup. It's a Saturday night. People can really go out and support their teams.
You mentioned it in the first half. Kansas football playing a big game against Iowa State at Arrowhead outside of Kansas City earlier today. Jayhawks pulling off an impressive upset win. They're going to try to do the same here in women's soccer as the free kick is played out wide. It's now at the feet of Cassens. She looks and finds Langfelder. Langfelder is dispossessed well by Pena. Pena, though, immediately turns it over, and now here come Kansas the other way. It's with Wood. She could try one from distance. She does, just a little bit wide, harmlessly paying off a sponsor board, and it'll be a goal kick for TCU and Plashko.
That's not a bad chance by Wood. I just wanted her to be a bit more direct with it. Didn't really lean into that shot. Just kind of took the shot, just made sure, all right, do you have enough contact to get that close? And that was pretty much it.
Kansas pressure producing iffy passes from this Horns Frog back line, but they still continue to hold the ball. It's up now with Kelly. On the half turn, she beats the defender and plays Pena through. Pena, middle of the field. She has options. She plays Kelly through. Coming out to seal the angle is Daw. She's out there. She misses the ball. The goal's exposed. It'll go out of bounds. Kelly, hands on her head, disappointing herself for not getting her boot on that one. It'll be a TCU corner. Daw being extra aggressive there to make sure Kelly couldn't get a good run in on goal.
That's another smart play by Dodd, though. That cuts off the angle, doesn't allow Kelly to really cut inside and get a decent chance on net, really forces her to take that shot now. It goes out for a corner.
The corner is taken short again. It's with Diorio. She's on the elbow, the 18. Puts the ball in the middle of the box. Options there, but it's headed out well by the Kansas defenders. Now falls to the feet. Patton could try from distance, but it's blocked. Nice block. Still deflected around. Put back into the box. Just no white shirts there for TCU. Kelly, though, making her presence felt. Still headed out by a Kansas defender. They're going to say a foul on Kelly for going up, having an aerial clash. That looks to be Bovey, who went up for it. Got knocked down by Caroline Kelly. Still, the two players, you know, they came together for a little bit of contact in the first half. Bovey still has her hands on her knees, but she'll stand up and jog back into her position with a couple words of encouragement from Sophie Daw. These two teams not afraid to mix it up, not afraid to get physical. Kansas just the bigger team, so usually dishing it out more than taking it, but nonetheless, still a physical game from both sides. They know this is their last game for a while.
So far, I think the biggest word I'd say for Kansas is just resilient right now. I mean, when they've really been challenged in the back line, they've stood up. They knew where to go. They know what to do in these types of situations, too. They're not just they're not inexperienced.
Ball played through to Wimes. She's knocked down by Mooney. It'll go out of bounds. It'll be a goal kick. Honestly, I have to say I might disagree with that call. It looked like that went off of Mooney's boot, but Plashko plays it quickly, knowing that, you know, she might know something the ref doesn't, but it's played to Patton, who tries to play Kelly through, but she's just not there. Now with the Kansas back line, it'll be Page standing over it. 0-0 here with 34:50 left from CPKC Stadium on the banks of the Missouri River in Kansas City, Missouri. A pretty good game between both these teams, but still no goals on the score sheet. TCU commanding possession, but they turn it over there. It's Wimes with it on the edge of the attacking third. She could switch the field, but chooses to play it back to Conte. Conte, the center back, big touch. Now plays it to the middle of the field, Langfelder. Langfelder now back to Page. Page turns, plays Bovey. Bovey back to Page. Page stands over it, tries to play through. That looks to be Watts, but it's just a little bit too far for the all-league player to go out of bounds. Watts and Page exchanging words and, you know, a flurry of hand signals, kind of gesture where they wanted that ball, perhaps. But it'll be a goal kick for Plashko and the Horned Frogs with 34:10 left in this one, 0-0.
I like the type of build-up Kansas is doing. I like the long passes. I like how they want to try to isolate these TCU defenders, really draw them out, and try to bring someone inside and really feed in those forwards, get Watts, get Wimes some chances. And that's what we saw in that Wimes shot, where it was just pressure going forward, and she was in a one-on-one situation, able to get away, and she had a good chance on net. That's what Kansas has been doing a lot, and simply just pressuring overall. They've loved bringing their wingbacks forward. They've been relatively quiet tonight, but they've kind of made up with that with how their center backs have played, and more importantly, their midfield.
Castens was looking up ahead for Watts up the sideline, but still just out of bounds. Deflected, they're going to say by Watts. It'll be a TCU throw-in. Patton to take it. She's looking for Hennessy down the line. Hennessy trying to make a run. Patton still hasn't thrown it yet. Patton swings and delivers, but there's a couple Kansas defenders there. Page tried to clear it, but kind of scuffed the ground, not the ball. Here's Paney with it. She'll take a big touch that'll trickle over the sideline. It'll be another throw-in, this time for Kansas, as it'll be Castens to stand with the ball in her hands. She throws it up the line, looking for Watts. Watts backing off, Patton well as a defender, but still nobody quite controlling it yet. Hennessy to Memoli. Memoli up to Pena. Good combo play as Pena tries to switch the field, but there to play no-nonsense defending is Lauren Wood. Pena with it now. Takes a couple deflections. Pena sticks her leg out to get the ball. Kansas players going down, but no foul called for the ref. Turns out he's going to call it now. Was just playing advantage. So it'll be a Kansas throw kick on, a Kansas free kick on the edge of their defending third. And they're going to take it quickly. Bovey just hitting it out wide. Conte has options up the right side, just taking big touches. Sends it up. Here's Wimes. Wimes tries to turn, but rather decides to play it back. It'll be Page with it. Page crosses the half-field line on the left side. Turns and plays her teammate Castens. Castens chops inside. Nice move to beat Hennessy, but still far from goal. Plays Watts out wide now. Watts running down the left sideline. Has an overlapping run. Chooses not to use it. Cuts inside. Still trying to cut inside. Turns. Still has the ball. Big touch, though, and it's cleared out well by a TCU defender. That was Hennessy who got her foot on it. Here come the Jayhawks, though, getting the right back. Watts with it, plays Castens wide. Castens swinging it in. Options in the box, but it's found nobody but the feet of Brown, who plays Memoli. TCU trying to work on the counterattack, but the field switching pass is a little bit too heavy, but a nice touch made. And here comes Baker. Baker turns it over, though, in a collision of bodies. They're going to call a foul. It'll be a free kick for TCU just past the attacking, probably on the edge of their attacking third, midfield third. Diorio and Baker are going to stand over it. With 31-20 left in this one in the 0-0 draw, Diorio is going to take it quickly, hitting it behind, but now controlled by Brown. Brown crosses the center circle, looking up ahead, hits it out wide, swings it. Diorio now, parallel to the edge of the 18. Trying to operate on that left side. Now could swing a ball in, she does, but it's blocked well by Conte. Still Diorio, though. Plays behind. Brown. Now Hennessy. Hennessy turns. Has options behind her. She'll play it to Baker. Baker does a good touch to keep the ball in. Now playing down the sideline. Plays back. Hennessy looking for Pena, but it's intercepted nicely. That was Langfelder getting her foot on it. She then just clears it, no nonsense, out of bounds, crashing into one of the few purple sections of TCU fans here in that lower bowl.
Yeah, we've seen some TCU fans on that side, and they've tended to have a TCU flag up towards their section. I don't know where it is right now, but that's been very prominent during the Horned Frogs games here at CPKC Stadium. They brought a good crowd. They brought some good energy. That's kind of how TCU plays, very steadfast.
Certainly feeling like the away team as the clearance is sent into the second deck. Conte not playing around. It'll still be a TCU throw-in, though, this time from just 3 yards closer. Kind of at the edge of the 18 extended. Sending into the box, looking for Diorio. It's deflected once, twice, but now cleared by Kansas. Hit up in the air by Brown. Brown back on it, standing over it. Pass up ahead. Finds Kelly, but a nice slide tackle is made. Instead, they're going to call a foul, and this could be from a dangerous position. About 2 yards, 3 yards, 4 yards as a yellow card is shown. See who that's going to be assigned to. Might be Bovey. It's going to be on Bovey, so that's her first yellow of the game, but still, caution for her going forward. A Kansas team that likes to defend physical. TCU, though, now standing over a free kick from about 5 yards outside the box. A lot of options to take it. Pena, Diorio both there. Hennessy there. As it'll be Diorio to take as her teammates jog into the box, discussing the plan. Is going to be a two-woman wall. Conte will be joined by Watts. Diorio stands over it. Words of encouragement from the TCU bench. Diorio trying to direct traffic. Still hasn't lifted her arm just yet. Diorio lifts the arm. Now follows through with the leg. Floats towards the box, but it's collected nicely by Sophie Daw. Just doing her job back there between the sticks. Controlling the game the way that Nate Lee would love. She's doing a pretty good job of it so far tonight for Kansas.
Yeah, and that was an interesting ball sent in by Diorio. Again, a little too far to go direct. You have to have a big leg to try to really loop it with a lot of power. Diorio very known for crossing that ball in. She did so there. It just was not the best chance overall. A little bit overcooked.
Dawes' goal kick finds the feet of Watts, but it takes a couple deflections and is still back at the feet of Watts after all that. Watts tries to turn the corner. She's on the edge of the 18. Tries to put a ball in, takes a deflection off Imathune, who tries to keep it in, does successfully. Watts will let it go out of bounds, though, so it'll be a throw-in, not a corner kick. Throw-in from just a couple yards short of the corner flag as we'll get some substitution action. Amika Kawagish is going to come on. Who will come off? Seems to be Grigorski coming off. Meanwhile, Cameron Lancaster will take the place of A.J. Hennessy for the Horned Frogs. Lancaster had a pretty good chance in the first half. She was just shut down well by Conte. She can make her presence felt and certainly could be a deciding player in this one. The cross from Kansas after a couple deflections on the throw-in just goes harmlessly over the back of the net. So it will be a goal kick. Plashko to take, as per usual, for TCU. This game in the second half kind of starting to settle down with 28-19 left in this one. It's still 0-0 between these two teams as there's an interception. Wimes has it now. She could turn and shoot. She chooses not to. Plays Kawagish. Kawagish tries from distance but is knocked down and is deflected. Now another chance from distance is just floated a little bit too high. That was Langfelder. Tried to get her left boot on it. Kind of just got under the ball and popped it up with tons of backspin. So it just glided harmlessly about 5 or 6 yards wide of the goal posts. As it'll be a goal kick planted by Plashko. She'll take 2 steps back and looking for somewhere to distribute the ball, really anywhere for her, with 27:43 left in this one. 0-0 from CBKC Stadium in the Big 12 final between TCU and Kansas. Lofted towards the half-field line. Plenty of options there. Takes a deflection off of Bovee. Now Pena could play through. She does. It's Baker with it now, running up that left side. Baker turns, just plays behind her, finds Mooney. Mooney, Pena now. Pena turns. Nobody there but Conte for Kansas, who clears it back. Langfelder tries to play it through, but it's just a little bit too far. It still takes a deflection. It'll be a Kansas throw from the edge of the midfield third. Referee to say no, rather take about 5 steps back. So a lot closer to the center circle extended, but it's still flinged towards Wimes down that right side, deflected by Baker. Up, Wimes gets her head on it, tries to play Watts. Watts on the edge of the 18, back to goal. Tries to work past Mooney, takes a deflection off the defender. Mooney does a good job keeping the ball in, but then chops it out of bounds. So saving a corner, but again, a throw in here for Kansas in a threatening position. Not a lot of bodies in the box for the Jayhawks, though. Played Torrance Wimes on the edge of the 18. Chests it down, settles it. Still just running away from goal, looking for options. Plays Conte. Conte's loping pass is swung in towards the net, but Lancaster's fully there for the Horned Frogs. Pushes it back out to the edge of the attacking third. Now swung back into the box. Nobody really home for the Jayhawks as bodies collide and bodies fly, but Memoli controls it, hits it up ahead, and now played through is Diorio. Diorio's up this left wing. One defender to beat, but the big touch is controlled nicely by Conte, who just can't quite keep it in. It'll be a TCU throw-in from the edge of the attacking third with now 26 minutes left in the second half and of regulation of the Big 12 final. We're going to get a substitution. Looks like that will be Whiteker coming in for, could that be Lancaster we see jogging off? No, rather she just came on. It'll be Evie Baker. Jordan Whiteker taking her spot.
Yeah, Whiteker's gotten a few appearances in this Big 12 tournament. She really wants to try to draw the lines. Not as fast as Baker, but she's able to really remain steadfast in that back line. This back line and midfield for TCU, they've been doing very good at really threading some long balls forward, whether that's over the top or through the ground. That's the type of combo you want if you're Eric Bell. You want players that are really comfortable with passing it out to different players, different parts of the pitch, so you can go forward.
The Horned Frogs will throw it in, looking on the edge of the box. Potentially Martinez getting run for the first time in a long time for Eric Bell and the Horned Frogs. It'll be out of bounds, though, off of a Kansas defender, so take two, throwing from about the same spot. White curve winds up, delivers. Martinez again, takes one touch, tries to turn, but a good piece of defending there. The slide tackle will still find the feet of Imathune, who then tries to play Mooney out wide. Ball a little soft, but Mooney comes in, closes the angle, and passes it back to Plashko. Plashko, Imathune. Imathune back to Plashko. Plashko takes a touch, it's shut down by Watts. She has an open goal, could try one, she goes down in the box on a whistle and a penalty for Kansas. That's the result of pressure. Watts could try one from the spot. Mihir, what just happened?
Well, as simple as that, Luke. You said it best. It was just simple pressure. Plashko just trying to find the ball. Imathune as well. And it's just simple carelessness in the back. Kansas noticed that from TCU, how they're very lethargic, playing it in the back line, trying to build forward. And it was just Lexi Watts just pouncing on the ball. They have been pressuring the entire game, Luke. That Kansas forward line is almost playing like they want to play the ball back. They're playing like they're in the midfield, and they're trying to go forward. That's how crazy, and also stamina too. That's how insane this Nate Lee team is from a fitness perspective, from a tactical perspective. And as it is right now, they're 12 yards away from putting this one in the back of the net.
The ball was being just passed around like it's a normal Tuesday kickabout in the back garden for TCU. But Plashko took a heavy touch. Watts stood right over it, took a big touch, had an open goal, tried one, and was cut down from behind. The referee's still going to take a look at it. Kansas pretty confident this is a penalty. But the referee nonetheless going to take a look at it. Looked pretty cut and dry to me, especially considering, where she was. I think that could have been, if the ref has been not calling much, maybe, and that foul occurs in the midfield, okay, maybe. But the ref has been calling a pretty tight whistle tonight. There was nothing but goal in front of her. So that was a clear and obvious chance. I'm honestly surprised that wasn't a card. But the referee pointed to the spot. We'll now check it out from the monitor. Both teams pretty confident this will be upheld.
It's kind of a professional foul too, right?
Yeah.
Because you are close towards net. You realize that Plashko is in the clear, and she hasn't seen many chances from this Kansas side, save for what we've seen in the past 15, 20 minutes or so. So she has to now come in and say, all right, I got to stand my ground, right? Sophie Daw, she's been used to this rhythm from the first half. Plashko has to kind of immerse herself in this for this second half, as she'll control the ball now. Now it just comes down to tactics too, because you realize we don't know who's taking it for Kansas. They've had a few chances this season from the spot, but at the same time, if you're Plashko, you realize you're the ones between the sticks. You got to try to control it in that area.
And you and I have witnessed just as many saved penalties as made penalties in this one. Earlier in the tournament, TCU won on a penalty. That was one of the few kind of converted we've seen so far, but we've seen a couple saves on penalties for both these teams. Referee still looking at, taking a nice long look at this one, maybe trying to determine if it's a card, maybe even trying to determine if it's a foul or not.
Maybe red card too, denial of an obvious goal-scoring
Could
opportunity.
be. Denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity is what qualifies for that. We'll do just a general check-in for you guys here. 24:33 left in the second half of this one. Kansas 0, TCU 0, but a really, really good opportunity here for Kansas. They believe they have a penalty. The referee is looking at it with the help of VAR. Hands on the head for TCU players and Kansas players, both trying to catch their breath. This is a nice long timeout for them to kind of lock themselves back in for the last 24:33 of this one. And what I'm looking forward to here, if this is called a penalty, if they deposit the ball and they take that 1-0 lead, TCU's going to have to get even more aggressive. And with the amount of attacking quality they have going forward, that could make this match really fun to watch.
Yeah, definitely. And we've seen this TCU come back from behind in this tournament, not once, but twice. But the difference was those goals happened in the first half. Just a little lapse in the first 15 minutes, and then they're able to really lock in and really drive that momentum, drive that pressure forward, which they have done today. But from the way Kansas has come out in the second half, I don't know.
Referee. A penalty. It is a penalty. So a big chance here. Who will take it for the Jayhawks? Michaela Merlo seems to be the chosen one. Merlo steps to the box. Just 12 yards from the goal and 12 yards from a lead. in the Big 12 final in Kansas City. Merlot stands over it. The graduate senior. No goals to her name yet this year. Could this be the first? Merlot runs up, fires, and it's in the back of the net. There's the lead. 24:33 left in this one, and Kansas leads 1-0 off the foot of Michaela Merlot. Her first goal of the season.
Just a clinical finish.
That's all you could ask for.
Just sends it right down, lower towards the ground, make it hard towards Plashko. She guesses incorrectly, just tucks it in towards the right. Cool, calm, and collected. Make sure that Plashko guesses wrong. And how about it? Graduate midfielder going up against a graduate goalkeeper. Veteran against veteran. Kansas leads 1-0.
A big goal is now TCU's going to have to get extra aggressive here. They take the tap, and Pena is going to immediately try to push wide to Lancaster, who pushes wide to Patton. Patton could play Lancaster through, but chooses to look farther up ahead the field, looking for Castaigne. Castaigne putting pressure on Page. Page tries to clear it, but it's off the foot of Castaigne. It'll be a throw-in for Kansas. Just like you said, that was an excellent penalty. Calm, cool, low to the ground, pacey, and a short run-up. Goalkeepers are always taught, read the hips of the penalty taker, but you can't really read the hips when it's a one-step run-up. That was a really good job there by Michaela Merlot, and Kansas leads 1-0. TCU trying to, make sure that they don't hold that lead for long with 23:53 left in the second half of this one. Mooney with it. It's deflected well, nicely, but falls to the feet of Imethune. Imethune playing out wide. Whitekirk will play it back to Plashko. Her big mistake is what led to the penalty. Plashko lobs it, finds the feet of Patton. Patton, big touch. Batted around, controlled by Watts, but her touch is also strong. Takes the deflection. Now here comes Watts up the left side. She could cut inside the box, and she does. Touch into the box. She could curl it back post. Now takes a step with her left. Swings and misses. The ball just straight up missed there by Watts. It'll trickle out towards the sideline. Try to be cleared by TCU. It's with Merlot now. She takes a piece of contact from Pena, and she goes flying. Ref letting them play through it all. Pena with it. Switches the field. Now Memoli. She has attackers forward. Takes a big step, but rather just lays it off to Patton. Patton. Short pass, Memoli. Memoli switching the field. Whitekirk settles. Plays out wide. Diorio trying to attack Conte. Cuts to the middle of the box. Still has a chance. Keeps going. Crosses it. Nobody there except for a Kansas defender. Diorio will go down holding her shin. The referee going to stop play here for an injury. Wasn't a foul. Still, Diorio goes down after a piece of contact and is writhing on the ground in pain. You hope to think she's okay.
That's been Diorio's bread and butter, just cutting inside, but it looked like that challenge was a bit fair, though. Ball went through the player.
Referee going to look at it, though. Drawing the VAR symbol. Really, that was just kind of clamors of protest from the TCU bench. You have to think Eric Bell was probably thinking, hey, as long as she's down there, you might as well take a look at it.
Yeah, you might as well try to, at the very least, mess with Kansas's heads, because they now have this newfound momentum. They're kind of the quote-unquote home crowd here. They have more fans in the stands. It's very apparent that they have more fans in the stands. And you have one of your best players down on the ground. You want to, at the very least, look at it because, again, she's very used to drawing these contact fouls where sometimes, at the very least, there's a fine line between flopping and actually going down. But from the way it looked like in that area, it did look like a clear-cut foul, which could be the impetus of contact.
Diorio up and jogging seemingly unscathed. She skips towards the TCU huddle near their touchline. They're not showing us replays here in the stadium. Still, from the perspective of you and me, it didn't seem like much. A fair challenge, hip-to-hip contact, shoulder-to-shoulder contact perhaps. But Diorio going down, pause and play. Referee's going to look at it. And that's really, TCU's going to take anything. It's not like the clock is running. It's paused here with 22:43 left. And the Horned Frogs trailing 1-0 to the Kansas Jayhawks on the banks of the Missouri River here at CPKC Stadium. Referee still looking at it, trying to determine what could possibly have led to that contact going around. Was it fair? Was it unfair? But again, the fact that it wasn't called a penalty on the field is important. Ref has to see evidence enough to overturn it, which if this could be a very 50-50 call, gonna just lean towards what he called on the field, which is no penalty, no foul even. It was just Kansas ball. but still taking his time to look at it.
I think it's also important to note that this was not called a penalty on the field. Kansas's penalty was called on the field, and they just wanted to make sure that it was a clear-cut foul. This is kind of the same thing, too, but it didn't seem as egregious. Very delayed, too, in the process. So it's also based down on where the referee was, where his assistants were, if the fourth official has anything to do with it. Those also play a factor because it all comes down to angles at the end of the day and who can call it.
And they aren't showing us replays here in the stadium or in the booth, so we wish we could tell you that there was a conclusive and obvious answer, but happened kind of on the far side down that left wing where Diorio has made the most of her damage throughout this season. Referee still looking at it. I mean, here, let's say this isn't given as a penalty. It'll just be Kansas ball. They'll try to hold possession. TCU will probably get the ball back. 22:43 left in this one. The Horned Frogs have not lost a game in Big 12 play all season. All season. A great, great, great year for Eric Bell and co. But really all doesn't matter unless you can win the whole thing here. You can capture that trophy in the last game of the season. Do you make any tactical adjustments? Because they've held possession and they've held the ball throughout this game. Do you make tactical adjustments if you're Eric Bell? Or do you just say, stay the course, we know the goal's coming?
I think you stay the course here because, like you said, the goal is coming from the way they've been playing the game, where they've been really able to get it down the wings, but find those direct chances. It just comes down to Sophie Daw. And to be honest with you, they had two really good chances. One in the first half with Castaigne and then another with Kelly, and it just comes down to Sophie Daw getting big. Simple as that. If Daw doesn't make those saves or you put some other goalkeeper there, it's probably 2-0 TCU.
Referee seems to be saying no penalty. No penalty. TCU bench not happy. Kansas bench and the crowd elated as they're positive the ref made the right call. TCU not really sure about that. Kind of seemingly questioning with their hands up. Almost asking for more explanation. They're not going to get it, though, because the game is soon to be restarted here at CPKC Stadium. The biggest crowd we've had for any game so far. Makes sense. We got kind of the hometown team in the final. It'll be Daw to stand over a free kick or just a ball drop from the edge of the 18. As Bovey now jogs to have a word with the referee. Kansas is one goal, the only goal of the match to take the lead. Happened just a few minutes ago. Penalty kick, Michaela Merlo. First goal of the season was won off a penalty where Lexi Watts dispossessed Megan Plashko. As the drop ball is just booted towards the half-field line, it'll go out of bounds. It'll be a TCU throw-in just past half-field. So the Horned Frogs get it right back. Going to try to hold possession and build towards that equalizer.
And Kansas is playing an interesting formation right now. They're still keeping a lot of their forwards relatively pressuring that TCU back line. You have Kate Langfelder essentially playing that attacking midfielder role. So it will be interesting to see where all of these players go and who's back to defend and how many players are back to defend.
The free kick is just taken and swung back towards Mooney, who will find Imathune. Imathune now plays Patton out wide. Patton could push forward. Played through Lancaster. Lancaster, two defenders on her, but gets it back to Patton. Patton takes a touch. It's deflected off her legs, and it'll go out of bounds. It'll be a Jayhawk throw-in. As we get some substitution action for Kansas. Felstad and Canuste are going to come on. Jogging off is Michaela Merlo to a warm reception from the crowd and her bench. The game's only goal scorer so far, solely responsible for the Kansas 1-0 lead from the penalty spot. Lauren Wood will come off. Ball out of bounds. It'll be a TCU throw-in now just by halfway. Here's Patton flinging it up ahead. Deflected off a couple defenders, but lobbed towards Lancaster. Lancaster met with a nice piece of contact. That was good defending from Kawagish. Still back with Lancaster, though, as it played through and finds the feet of Patton. Patton chops it up ahead. Now with it, Martinez plays. Diorio passes it back to Patton. Patton on the right side gets it towards the middle. Memoli takes a touch, cutting through defenders. Now gets it inside the 18. Castaigne turns, now turns her back to goal. Plays it out wide to Patton. Patton could swing one in here. Takes a big touch outside and is dispossessed and defended nicely. That was Lexi Watts tracking all the way back from her forward position to kick the ball out of bounds. Excuse me, not Lexi Watts, rather Castaigne's doing a good job defending there. It'll be a throw-in for Patton. Parallel to the edge of the 18. Martinez plays it back to her. Patton with it now. touches it out wide, drags it back. Defended well, but operates through two defenders before finding a third where it's cleared, and a foul is called on TCU. It'll be a Kansas free kick from just outside their defending 18. TCU quick to get the ball back to Kansas, get this game going. It's 20:15 left in the second half of this one. Kansas 1, TCU 0. Kansas the 6th seed. Good hometown story here. TCU, the 1 seed, undefeated in Big 12 play so far. Haven't lost a game yet, and here they trail with just 20 minutes left. It's played up and then deflected a couple times. Patton with it. Playing up ahead, Castaigne takes a touch. Martinez, more touches, still loose. Controlled. Page up ahead, looking for Lexi Watts. She'll make a run on it. Got just Imathune to beat. Pushes Imathune off the ball, now controls it. Takes a touch to the box, turns the corner. Parallel the end line now. Watts from a tough angle is denied. Nice save there by Plashko. Plashko came out, sealed off the space, and basically made the save with her knee.
Gotta love that pressure, though, from Wyme. Just trying to steer out towards that end line. She's kind of guiding it, too. So really nobody in the area other than her. She has to really get it past Plashko. But at the same time, that's the type of pressure that Kansas can bring. Just those moments where you're caught up one-on-one and you can really drive inside.
A host of substitutions here for the Horned Frogs. One to watch, Caroline Kelly, the tied for the leading goal scorer on this team. She usually is used as a substitution. Makes her appearance here in the second half with 18:57 to go, and the Horned Frogs trailing 0-1. As Plashko puts the ball down for a goal kick on the edge of her 6. She winds up and will deliver towards midfield. Nobody really there. Ball takes a scuff, now rolls towards out of bounds, and will just trickle out of bounds. Nobody really home for Plashko's goal kick. She probably didn't get all of it in the way she wanted to. But it'll be a Kansas throw-in as they try to just hold possession and grind out these last 18.5 minutes.
And Plashko's been sending these balls deep. She's tended to build out of the back. We saw that in the first half. Now she's trying to really mix things up and, simply put, just get it out. Because you know what happened the last time she did that? It was brought in by Watts. She pressured. She got a chance. It was a penalty. And then Kansas took a 1-0 lead. So for Plashko, simple as this. Just get it back towards the midfield and try to establish possession there.
Trying to play a through ball is Harima, but it's just a little bit long, a little bit too heavy. So it'll be a goal kick for Megan Plashko as we see some substitutions. Cowagish will come on, and Michaela Merlo, the goal scorer in this one, will come on as Cowagish will come off. As TCU has possession here with Patton now. She takes a touch, cutting towards the middle of the field. Hennessy will then play Kelly up ahead. It's just a bit too far for Kelly, but it's Castaigne putting a lot of pressure here on Bovey, who is supported nicely by Conte, who just clears the ball out of bounds, but it's a throw-in from a threatening position for the Horned Frogs as they try to play Hennessy through. She pops it up ahead and makes a run towards the end line, but it's booted out of bounds, and it's going to say over the end line. It'll be a corner kick for TCU. They like to take these short. When you're trailing, do you just send it in the box? Do you take it short again?
I think you would stick to your plan. Take it short.
Taken short, just as you said, Mihir. Now finds Mooney. Mooney will pass behind her. Whiteker into the box. Options there. Takes the deflection. Castaigne can turn and shoot. She does, and off the crossbar, and Daw collects. Oof. The entire Kansas side of the stadium, which is about, 75% of it, just maybe had the loudest exhale you've ever heard in your life. Seven Castaigne got in behind the Kansas back line, tried to shoot on the half turn. It was up and over the outstretched hand of Daw, but it was off the crossbar. Daw turned around and collected it nicely. Castaigne was not offsides as the ball had taken a deflection, but Daw puts it deep into TCU territory. This is going to be scooped up by Plashko, who now begs her troops, come on, counterattack time. She gets it up to Patton. Patton sends it towards two attackers in the middle, finds nothing but the head of Bovey. Bovey puts it back towards the Kansas attacking third. Now at the feet of Harima. Harima looking for options, plays it up ahead. A nice run on here. Here's Nickel. Nickel tries to put it in the box. Harima can make a run on it, but a nice scoop made by Plashko. No nonsense back there for the TCU keeper, who decides to switch the field and throw it out to Whiteker on the left side. Whiteker now. Long strides for the defender, trying to play Diorio through, but it just finds the head of Conte. Conte heads it out. It'll be a TCU throw-in from just short of half field.
It comes down to those center backs. It comes down to Conte, Page, Bovey as well. You have Castens playing back there essentially as a fourth center back too. It comes down to their recovery. It comes down to how they're really able to suck up all of this TCU energy.
And it's played to Pena, finding Kelly. Kelly could play a teammate through. She takes a touch, is almost dispossessed, but gets it back. Patton with it out wide now. She has Hennessy, she plays her. Hennessy towards the end line, trying to get to the ball, but it's just a little bit too heavy to go out of bounds. Kansas goal kick. Good chance there for TCU.
Yeah, just a little overcooked towards Hennessy. She was trying to make that run, but Hennessy is kind of one of those players that's very technical with the ball, low towards the ground, low center of gravity. So you want the ball to go towards her overall.
Yeah, goal kick for Kansas. Sophie Daw to stand over it. She's played hero so far tonight. A couple big saves in the second half. One on a one-on-one with Kelly, where she sealed off the angle well and shut it down. And one right there, just parrying the ball up and off the crossbar and then collecting it afterwards calmly. It's with Hennessy now. She's into the attacking half for TCU. Plays it back across the halfway line for Patton, who tries to play it back to Hennessy, takes a heavy touch. It'll go out of bounds, much to the delight of the Kansas bench that was standing right there. Jayhawks to throw it in from about half field. With 14:36 left in this one, it's Kansas 1, TCU nothing in the Big 12 soccer final from CPKC Stadium on the banks of the Missouri River. Referee calling for time to roll on and continue, perhaps. It'll be a throw in here. Castens has it in her hands for Kansas, looking for options. Still trying to scan the field. We'll take it, fling it up ahead. Trying to find Shay Ryan, who makes another cameo for the Jayhawks, but rather it's deflected and taken. Hennessy turns the corner. She now cuts the middle of the field, goes to ground, and the referee's going to call foul. Referee's going to say Castens stuck her leg out and took Hennessy to ground. He's got a point, much to the chagrin of the Kansas bench. It'll still be TCU ball. Mooney with it in possession now. Still just constant Kansas pressure, just putting a lot, just making the TCU center backs pass off their heels as the ball is deflected out of bounds for a TCU throw in. Still just more Kansas pressure piling on. Throw in is up ahead, looking for Castaigne, but can't find it. Nice control by Bovey. Bovey will just clear it out of bounds. No nonsense for the Jayhawks. It'll be another TCU throw in from half field. Looking for this time Hennessy, dispossessed well. The goal scorer Merlot got her foot in there, as here's again with Merlot, now turning and taking. Up ahead to Shay Ryan, but it's just a little bit too wide. Out of bounds. It'll be a TCU throw. They'll take it quickly. Hennessy with it now, just straddling the half-field line. Plays it back. Whiteker trying to look for somebody through, but it's shut down nicely by Conte. Conte back. Langfelder. Langfelder looking for options, finds it and gets it back. A nice little two-touch pass there. Langfelder controlling possession, looking for options in the middle. Has Whiteker to beat. She swings it to the box, but it's controlled nicely by Brown, who turns and finds Pena. TCU trying to look to push on the counterattack. Pena playing Kelly through. Could it get over the Kansas defense? It could not, but still with the feet of Kelly. She turns and now cuts in the middle of the field. Running on, trying to play Castaigne through, but it's controlled nicely by Page, who gets it back to Merlot, who clears it up ahead. Shay Ryan comes to collision with Imathune. Ball still loose, controlled by Kansas. That was Langfelder. She will drag it back and pass it back. Conte took a big touch, but got it past Pena. Pena going to be disappointed in herself. She missed it. Conte takes a run forward and tries to just send it towards Harima, but it's just too wide. It'll be a TCU throw-in from the edge of the defending third, as substitutions will be called on. We're going to see Evie Baker again. Freshman defender has an assist to her name this year, gets a lot of action and gets a lot of starts for this TCU team. She'll take off Whiteker.
I like those Kansas moves in the area, especially Langfelder and Conte. Just a simple yank with the ball, try to pull it towards yourself, and then go forward. You've got Greengrass going. And I think that's because TCU's getting a little bit more antsy. They want to get the ball back. They're bringing in more pressure, which can open up areas of space.
Settled by Merlot, and she tries one from distance, but it's just a little bit too wide. Merlot already has her name on the scorer sheet for the first time all season. She's going to try to get it on there a second time. Trying to fire from distance is just a little bit wide. As a substitution here for Kansas, Wimes will grace the field with her presence, and taken off will be seemingly Harima, Jocelyn Harima. No goals, no assists to her name. seemingly will probably be the end of her night unless this game goes to extra time. 11:32 left and counting from CPKC Stadium. It's Kansas 1, TCU 0 as Patton is played through up the right wing for the Horned Frogs. Here comes Patton, moving towards the middle of the field, lays it off. Hennessy back to goal, turns it, passes it across the midfield line into the defensive half. Memoli. Now Mooney. Mooney out wide, Baker. Baker tries to play Diorio, but they just have a miscommunication, and Conte is there to send it back towards the TCU defensive end. Pena turns, but it's taken away, dispossessed nicely. That was Merlot in there. Merlot puts it up ahead towards the TCU back line, but it's just a little bit too long. And they'll go over the back line for a goal kick for the Horned Frogs.
And it's just simple as this. Kansas is going back and defending. We've seen them do this in almost every game in the Big 12 tournament. Even the one against West Virginia, where that game was decided in extra time, a Watts winner in the 101st minute, where when they get towards the part of the second half, they just hunker down and really draw their opponents a bit forward, but also spread it out well. It just comes down to how technically sound these players are.
Baker is going to go down with an injury, so we're going to get a timeout for both teams as Baker looks to be tended to in this one. 10:42 left from CPKC Stadium. Kansas holds a narrow 1-0 lead over a TCU team that's just been piling on the pressure throughout the second half, but has yet to break through. Kansas' one goal was scored with about 20 minutes left off a penalty kick from none other than Michaela Merlo in her first goal of the season. In her first year at Kansas after spending 4 years at the University of Colorado at Colorado Springs. Fun fact, Michaela Merlo scuba diving certified for the Jayhawks. Got a lot of talent outside of just scoring clutch goals.
You know, the one thing I will say about that for Kansas is the fact that we're now at the part of the season where games really matter. These are the most important games of the year for Kansas. And at the same time, you have a few players. You have Reina Canoost, who just scored her second goal of the season. You have Olivia Page, who scored her first goal of the season. Those are the two goal scorers against Texas Tech on Wednesday. Page, too, that was her second career goal with Kansas. So these are players that, again, may not register on the score sheet as often, but boy, had they come up big. And I think it's also deserving when you get to this point of the season and you get those players that are always just raking in minutes. They're raking in that time. They're able to step in when it matters the most and really get those substitutions working in their favor. This is the time of the year where you just kind of have to sit back and relax and enjoy what we're seeing in front of our eyes.
As the game resumes, we have 10.5 minutes left in this one here from CPKC Stadium in the Big 12 final. Lancaster with it now for TCU, crossing half field, playing it wide. Baker was just on the ground. She's back up and playing right away. Pena dispossessed. It's controlled here from Kansas, but Pena gets the ball right back. Diorio. She turns. Mooney switches the field, almost intercepted by Wimes, but it gets to Patton on this right side. Patton plays it back. Imethune faced with constant Kansas pressure as it has been all game. 10 minutes left now in this one. TCU looking for a late equalizer. They play it up ahead, Lancaster. Lancaster takes a touch and turns, but is sealed off nicely. Good play from Megan Merlo. She'll get it up ahead. Kansas trying to control it. A couple deflections and taken. Here comes Nickel. Nickel trying to play Wimes through. Wimes is defended nicely by Imethune, who gets the ball back to Memoli. Memoli could push it out wide, and she does. Patton takes a touch, crosses the half-field line. Plays it back. Memoli. Back to Patton. Back to Memoli. Memoli looking to switch the field, and she does. Finds Baker. Baker chests it down. We'll play back. Mooney to her center back partner, Imethune. Imethune pushing TCU forward. Will now send one kind of towards the edge of the 18. It's controlled. Chests it down nicely by Caroline Kelly. She plays it out to Lancaster, who takes a touch, who will retreat back to the half-field line, and they're right back where they started from. As Memoli now looks to switch the field, but it's under hit and controlled nicely. Now Diorio finds Baker, but Baker turns it over, but then the turnover is immediately dispossessed and is pushed forward. It's going to be last touch by, they're going to say, Kansas. So it'll be a TCU throw-in. Kansas fans, bench alike, not liking that call. Still, we got to strap in and defend here with 8.5 minutes left in this one, leading 1-0 over TCU. to the middle of the box, looking for Lancaster, can't find her. Patton takes a touch, cuts inside, tries one from distance, it's deflected. Settled by Castaigne, she shoots, blocked. And it'll be collected by Daw inbounds as another nice piece of Kansas defending will preserve their 1-0 lead with 8:20 left. A good chance there for TCU.
Two good chances for TCU, and I think Patton should have taken that first time. She decides to bring it down and then look for the shot with the left boot. That's enough time for Kansas to get defenders in front of her, get that shot blocked. And again, Castaigne, you try to chest it down. She really has no option. She just has to beat Daw in that instance. And once again, Daw comes up big.
As it's taking a couple deflections, the ref's going to say no foul, and pushing forward is the Kansas attack as there's bodies flying, and now the ref will blow his whistle and call a foul. They're going to say it's on Lancaster, saying she made illegal contact with Kayla Merlot. Both were chasing off after a loose ball on the edge of the midfield third. So Kansas will now stand over a free kick. It'll be Bovey to stand over it. As ref will call for a stoppage in play, jog over to tell Bovey to take the ball back a yard and a half. Bovey standing over it. Looking for someone to just trying to play the ball into the box. If Kansas can find a second one here, that could be coffin nails. She floats it towards the box, but it's controlled nicely by Emma Thune. She finds Lancaster. Lancaster up ahead. Castaigne. Castaigne dribbles with her back to goal, plays Baker out wide. Baker tries to take a touch, takes a couple deflections, and it's taken nice. That was a good play there. Grigorski pushes up ahead. Looking for options, takes a step over. Cuts to the middle of the box, now works back outside. Could play a ball in, turns, she does. It's low, but it's controlled by Mooney. Mooney trying to just get it up ahead to a TCU Horned Frog, but she can't find anyone and just boots it out of bounds off the sponsorship board. 7 minutes left in the final from CPKC Stadium as a substitution will be made. Lexi Watts, one of the best late game goal scorers in the Big 12, will jog on. She'll replace Nickel. Good minutes from Nickel. Sophia Nickel making her presence felt in this Big 12 final. 7:01 on the clock. Kansas 1, TCU 0 as the Horned Frogs faced with their first defeat of the Big 12 season right now. They got 7 minutes to find an equalizer to live on as it's controlled and pushed ahead, but then dispossessed. It's Kansas now, but it's one back. Pena with a nice play. Up ahead, Diorio in the middle of the field. She turns, is dispossessed. Nice play there by Merlot. Here comes Watts down the right side. Chopped inside, looking for options. Step over, could put a ball in the box, but it's just a little bit too long, and it'll go out of bounds. It'll be a goal kick for TCU. Plashko puts the ball down. 6.5 minutes left. Plashko putting it up ahead instantly. Finds Memoli. Memoli on the edge of the D, now passes back to the edge of the defending 18. Imathune faced with pressure from Wimes. Has no option, but Patton on the close sideline. Patton looking for options. She's just hounded by Kansas defenders. Somehow works her way out of it. Patton Houdini up the left side now. Lancaster. She has options wide and she finds one. Here's Caroline Kelly. The Horned Frogs looking for an equalizer. Kelly middle of the box. Pena on the edge of the D. Pena takes a touch, finding Castaigne. Castaigne tries to turn. Lancaster could have one from distance. She tries to float it in the box. Deflected. Patton with it now. Standing over the ball. Turns. Back to goal. Could play it backwards. She does. It's with Imathune. Imathune playing parallel to the half-field line. Just straddling it. Mooney. Mooney looking for options. Finds Baker. Back to Mooney. Mooney pays it back to Plashko. 5:40 left on the clock. Kansas leads 1-0. TCU needs an equalizer. Imathune pushing forward. She'll cross the halfway line with options ahead. Takes another touch. Fighting towards the attacking third. Floats it up ahead looking for Kelly. Kelly settles it down. Turns the corner. Works around Page, but no. Page sticks her leg out at the last second and makes a good challenge. And she'll now clear the ball up ahead. It'll go out of bounds and be a TCU throw-in from their defensive half. You mentioned it at the beginning of this half, Mahir. Resilience is the Kansas defensive way. 5-11 and counting. Mooney stands over it. She finds Imathune, her center back partner for this entire season. TCU undefeated in Big 12 play is now 5 minutes from losing their first game all season in conference in the Big 12 championship. The Jayhawks can feel it, but can they hold on? Mooney with it, straddling the middle line. She'll play Imathune directly to her right. Imathune takes a touch, looking for options. We'll just play it side by side to Mooney. Kansas defense packing in, not allowing infiltrators up the channels. Lancaster taps it back to Mooney on just straddling the middle line again. Imathune with it. Head up, looking for options. Could play Kelly. She chooses not to. Plays Patton wide. Patton takes a touch. Now she attacks towards the middle of the box, nearing the edge of the D, trying to play Castaigne through. Castaigne takes a touch and turns. Playing towards the edge of the box, but is dispossessed, but ends up getting it back. This time just 10 yards farther from the goal. About 35 yards out, Memoli will swing it, switching the field. Here's Mooney with it, in the middle. Takes a touch, plays Lancaster. Lancaster is dispossessed nicely by Watts. She'll clear it back. 4 minutes on the clock. TCU needs an equalizer. Plashko, up ahead to Imathune. Imathune, again, just passing it back and forth with Mooney. Mooney tries to send it up ahead. She does. She finds Kelly. Kelly to Lancaster. Lancaster takes a touch. Here comes TCU, trying to play Castaigne through, but it's defended nicely. Still loose in the box. Nobody has control. Kansas is going to just boot it out of bounds with no nonsense. That was Bovey getting her foot on it and putting it out of bounds. Horned Frogs trying to claw their way back into this one. Down 1-0 because of a penalty just 20 minutes ago. Patton with it. Back to Memoli. Memoli could switch the field. She does. Wimes can get her boot on it, and she does. A pick-off for Wimes. She tries to take it the other way. It's 1-on-3 for Wimes. She could just look to be in the time-wasting business. And she is, dribbling towards the sideline, sealing off her defender. 3:20 and counting in the second half of the Big 12 championship. Kansas 1, TCU 0. Mooney with it. Turns, fires back. It's with Plashko. Plashko, Imathune. The stadium rising to their feet. The tension rising. So thick we could reach out of this window and cut it with a knife. Here's Memoli with it. She crosses the halfway line, trying to switch the field, looking for forward of the year Diorio. She finds her. Diorio now in that left wing. Takes a touch, cuts inside, looking for an option. It's swept away and out of bounds by a Kansas defender. That looked to be Langfielder who got her foot on it.
Everybody is back defending for Kansas, all out defending from now until the end of this one. You can feel it in the air. You can understand what this moment means for Kansas. Again, a 6 seed, not projected to make the NCAA tournament. They're on a dream run right now. They're trying to continue it.
Memoli with it for TCU. They have not ceded possession in what feels like an eternity. Imathune playing Kelly up ahead. Kelly trying to get in behind, but it's deflected nicely. Not necessarily fully cleared by Kansas, though, as it's back with Imathune. She's 40 yards from goal. Gets it to Mooney. Mooney takes a touch. Finds Lancaster. Lancaster with Castaigne. Castaigne plays Patton wide. Patton on the edge of the 18. Puts a ball in the box. Options there. Nobody settles it. Lancaster takes a touch. Edge of the D. Plays Castaigne. The turn. The shot is blocked. She can get a rebound. She does. Patton floats it back in. Looking for Kelly. Kelly has a shot on goal. Cleared nicely. Edge of the D for Lancaster. She takes a touch. Now Patton tries to turn. Trying to play towards the end line, and she can. Could put a ball in the box. A big touch from Patton. Parallel with the end line. She sends one in. It floats. Misses it. Loose at the edge of the box, but no TCU players there. It's cleared out. Mooney will stand over it. 90 seconds left in the Big 12 final. Put into the box. A shot from distance is blocked. Castaigne couldn't get all of it. Pena takes a touch. Tries one. Blocked again. Page got her foot on it. And now Page clears it towards the halfway line. 80 seconds left. 80 seconds between Kansas and a Big 12 championship. Here's Imathune with it. Big touch. Edge of the box, looking for options. Could play Diorio through. She chooses not to. Out wide, Baker. Baker back to Imathune. A minute left. 60 seconds between a championship for Kansas or an equalizer for TCU. Baker running towards the end line. It'll be out of bounds. A corner kick for TCU. 55 seconds and counting. Diorio rushes to it. Everybody in the box for TCU. Even Plashko. No, rather, there she goes. Urged on by Eric Bell. The swing of the leg. Here comes the ball. Diorio looking for options. Plashko gets her head on it, and it's just a little bit wide. You couldn't have written a better story than that one. Plashko hits it just a bit wide as there's 35 and counting. Kansas happy to take their time. 30 seconds left. You had to feel like that was the best chance for TCU they're going to get. Everybody on their feet. Standing over the ball is Daw. She's just taking her time. 15 and counting. Lobs it towards center field. It takes a trickle. Could go out of bounds. It doesn't. It's kept in. Memoli heads it back. Imathune, 10 seconds. 9 and counting. 8. Can't control it is TCU. Now they get it out wide. A through ball. Kelly trying to make a run. There could be a chance here. Deflected. And that's it. That will do it. Kansas, the run of dreams, as they capture their first Big 12 title in 5 years here at CPKC Stadium in Kansas City. The Jayhawks in Nate Lee's first season with Kansas find their way back to the promised land and win the Big 12. They are going dancing. What a win for the Jayhawks.
What a performance, what a run. You talk about peaking at the right moment. Peaking with basically your first head coach or a new head coach for the first time in 26 years. That's a big change to a culture. That's a big change to a program. But the way Nate Lee has just come into this program, instill the values that he learned in Southwest Ohio, and bring it to this stage. This is a guy that was Big East Coach of the Year for 3 times. 3 times he won that award, and Xavier became a perennial team that went to the playoffs every single year. And that's the type of culture he's brought to Kansas. It wasn't pretty. And it's tough in a Big 12 conference when you have to play teams like Texas Tech, like TCU, like West Virginia, and you have some tough road trips. Like you have to go to State 48, Arizona, Arizona State. Those are tough flights. But the way this team has responded in the right moment and responded with the right amount of energy, right? Even when things got a bit tight on the road, even when things got a bit tight here in Kansas City, they understood who they are. And they understand, hey, here's the thing. This team is better than us. This team knows how to win. But at the same time, we haven't seen them, right? It's a new opportunity. They've talked about opportunities this entire season, this entire playoff run. It's just a positive energy, and everybody radiates off of it. That's how I describe Kansas. They're locked in, and they're ready to go, and rightfully so. They're Big 12 champions.
The party continues on the edge of the center circle as Jayhawk players will don their caps with the words Big 12 champions on them. What a run in the Big 12 tournament for this team, conceding 1 goal all tournament. They defeated the 3 seed, the 2 seed, and the 1 seed on their way to their first Big 12 title in 5 years. And you mentioned it, Nate Lee. How hard must that be? It's your first season in charge. You're replacing just an icon of Kansas athletics. And you go and you win the Big 12 and you're going dancing. What a win for Lee and his team. What a performance. Michaela Merlo, her first goal of the season and the only goal of the match from the penalty spot. The pressure, relentless all night. The team, energetic all night, never wavered. It would have been so easy to waver in the face of this TCU team that features the attacker of the year, the midfielder of the year, and the coach of the year. This is a TCU team stacked with talent up and down that might even see Kansas in the tournament. They might even meet them in the 3rd round. You never know. But for one night, waving their arms back and forth to their fans in the stands like the sunflowers throughout Kansas, the Kansas players know that they are on top in the Big 12. This is their league for tonight. As Rock Chalk will live on and will dance their way into the NCAA tournament, the party can be heard from Lawrence. What a night for Kansas soccer. Battling all night against a team with quality, again with future pros. Going toe-to-toe all night, pressure up, never once looking uncomfortable, and also never once looking complacent. Hats off to Nilly and his squad. Hats off to Michaela Merlo. Hats off to Sophie Dahl. What a game she had between the sticks for Kansas.
Yeah, she definitely showed up. 4 saves, so it doesn't look big on the score sheet, but she came up big. Almost every chance she saved was a ball played in the clear or right down the half space that had true chance of finding the back of the net. And again, she hasn't been a player that's been touted as goalkeeper of the year. I mean, Plashko's been in that conversation. Jordan Knights ended up winning the award, who played for Colorado. But the way that Daw just showed up in a big moment, and I think she's grown more confident as the season has gone along. She's grown more confident as this postseason, this tournament has gone along as well. It's just a great moment, right? And we hear the saying. We hear it across all sports. Offense wins games, defense wins championships. And you realize at some point you have to rely on your defense. And that's the one thing we saw out of Kansas, right? They were going up against some of the best offense they've ever seen this season in the Nate Lee era, and just in general too, with the TCU side. To lock them down, I mean, we didn't hear much from Diorio, save for some chances. Castaigne, save for that chance, kind of silent, right? Hennessy kind of taken out of the game on that right-hand side, even though she's more of a distributor. The way that this Kansas defense is so locked in, and I think the other thing that people don't talk about a lot, they lost one of those center backs in Brooke Otto when they went to Tempe to take on Arizona State. They lost one of their key center backs. So you have someone with Olivia Page stepping into that role, trying to find the right combo, who's in what spot between her, Mackenzie Bovey, and Asa Kante, and they're just able to slide in. It's next player up, and they're able to work it to perfection.
A night that Nate Lee will never forget. A night that will be celebrated here in Kansas City and just an hour away in Lawrence for years to come. The Kansas Jayhawks, top of the Big 12 again 5 years later. 5 years since the last time they came out on top here. What a game, what a night, and what a tournament here. We had entertainment, tension, storylines, winners, cinema from start to finish in this Big 12 tournament. I have to say it has been an honor calling it with you, with Jalara, our third man. And if we could do it again, I would do it again. What a tournament. It's been just a pleasure calling it with you and Joao. I've had the time of my life here in Kansas City, and maybe we'll be back here next year.
I mean, I'd say the same thing, Luke. I mean, we didn't know what to expect, right? This was because you have the Pac-12 teams coming in, and even because you have some of these American other teams, basically, BYU, Cincinnati, UCF, and Houston, although some of them didn't make it to this tournament, there's still a new feel to this conference, right? It's ever growing, and you have to consider, how do you really cater to your audience? But at the same time, you're in this great stadium, KC Current, the only stadium in the United States built solely for the use of women's professional sports. And you host the Big 12 Women's Soccer Championship here. You bring it to this world-class facility. That's the type of energy you want. That's the type of marketing you want. And I think the Big 12 saw that going into this tournament. It's going to be back here next year. It's only going to be 7 days in total, so not as long as what we saw where the first games were back on October 30th, and here we are today on November 9th. But at the same time, like, this is a pristine facility, right? Big 12 championships will be here. The Women's College Cup will be here next year in a great city. I mean, Kansas City's going to host some 2026 World Cup games as well, so it's a great hotbed for soccer. And I think that was one thing that this conference was trying to promote, right? Why do you take it from Round Rock, Texas, that probably has better weather, at the very least warmer weather, than what we're seeing here in Kansas City, and bring it to this facility? Well, that's why. You want to exude soccer, you know? And we can talk about everything that's going on, from like the professional leagues to USL Super League coming in, which gives more opportunities to these women. But to have this moment is just special.
Hats off to Big 12. Hats off to everybody who organized this great event. And hats off to Blaze Radio for letting us come here and be a part of it. This was an unforgettable experience. For our third man, Joao Lara, for my co-announcer, Mihir Sinhasan, I am Luke Lender. Thank you so much for sticking with us tonight and for sticking with us for the last 2 weeks here from Kansas City, Missouri. And for one last time in 2024, from the banks of the Missouri River, we will sign off. Stay safe, and we'll talk to you next time.
I thought I released a good album until Naughty Step said it was bad.
I hear this project and I am frustrated.
I better listen to Blaze Radio.
Hi, I'm Pedro. Did you know you can listen to anything? Blaze Radio says you can, and so do I. I believe that until listened to, every song, album, EP, and DJ set is hot until proven otherwise.
And that's why I fight for you, headbangers. Hot FM.
Hot FM on Blaze Radio. Listen live every Monday at 11 a.m. on blazeradioonline.com. That's blazeradioonline.com.
This is what I wanted. It's what I've been waiting for these cars to come off of this corner. And guys, it's showtime. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Ooh, let's go racing today, boys.
Are you a racing fan or want to learn more about the sport? Join Cooper Burns and Eric List every Tuesday